getting to you. The fear is getting to you. The fear is getting to you. I told you you're gonna feel some fear, right? Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you you're gonna feel some fear you ain't felt? No. Crazy. You are so soft. I can see it. Your breath is just. I can hear you. You're not like that, bro. You're not like that. You're not like that. The fear is getting to you. 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 The fear is getting.
Eric Marlensky, 114, 110. Robin Taylor, 115, 109. Your winner by majority decision, King Ryan Garcia!
What are you talking about? Huh?
What did you make of his comments now, the Mexican thing? I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, like, well, I'm a flat-footed Mexican fighter. Look, if you're calling me a Mexican fighter, I find that as a compliment, you know? What are you talking about? Huh?
What did you make of his comments now, the Mexican thing? I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, like, well, I'm a flat-footed Mexican fighter. Look, if you're calling me a Mexican fighter, I find that as a compliment.
You know what I love? Oh my god. Sorry. I just love a good roast beef sandwich. You know what I
Salute. What's up, fellas? Wow. What did we have here? Fight of the year, upset of the era. Shit, man. What a night. Mexican boxing coming through. Know a lot of people don't consider Ryan Garcia, but he still is, man. And you know what? He did it. Ryan did it. Let's get to the fellas in the building. Salute Ghost, Frank the Tank. Yes, you know I'm smashing Tortas daily. Alfredo Contreras, yo. Pounds, salute Frank Bay. Yep. We doing it. Jack Ripper, CDB, blame ref robbed him of 3 more knockdowns. Salute, yes he did. Everybody's talking about it. Solo Dolo, yes. Frank the Bank, yes. I'm trying to collect, but you know, people act stingy out here. It's all good. We're still gonna keep it lit. Salute SSC, Quechinga, saludos BDA. In the building. Check BDA show out. He did a really great show last night and this morning. Was fantastic. Know all the usual suspects. But let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. The victory of this era. This is Broner Maidana, Andy Ruiz versus AJ. So look, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to drop the link for anybody that wants to hop on and talk their shit. Tell me what you think. Let me know, were you excited? Was it everything you thought? Were you Mexicans for Haney? And that's kind of the first thing I want to talk about. All right. I noticed in our community, the boxing community, social media, there was a lot of this Mexicans for Haney. And I think I told you guys how I felt about that. Salute Evil Greenie. I said, you know what, man? These people are going to eat crow. You know, okay, I get it. You know, you don't think Ryan Garcia or whatever, but Hanky wearing him and his dad pandering to the Mexican, wearing the Mexican flag. And, you know, they do the whole sombrero thing. You know, I've never been a fan of it. I just felt it was like mocking. It's like, you know, these guys, you know, and that's why we say, you know, we call them Crips, Wakanda and Crips, you know, all the same thing, and they get mad. But it's like, you know what? Represent what you represent. Don't try to pander to another crowd, because we've said this, they don't sell, I don't want to say they don't sell, but they don't fight each other. They don't make the big fights. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans don't like to see each other. Mexicans win. I mean, you know what? There's just so many of us. We come from all our parts. There's a lot of Latinos. There's the Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. There's South America. There's a lot of the Evil Greenie. I was trolling people with the Mexicans for Haney. Yeah, man. I mean, dude, you know what? I can't stand those guys. And I'm sorry if anybody listening. I can't stand you. I said it before, dude. I got flamed. I got broiled because I said I was hoping Ryan wins. I said it. I said I hope Ryan wins. I think it'll be the best thing for boxing. And I got flamed and I was willing to eat it. But salute to everybody that got rich, man. A lot of people made a lot of money. If you bet Ryan decision, you could be a millionaire overnight. Which is fascinating. Ryan Garcia against all odds. And please, man, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Salute pounds. Ryan shocked the world. Yes, he did. He shocked the world, not just boxing, but the world. I was like, Haney. Oh man, come on, brother. Don't tell me that. You know what? Ryan rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and that's fair. I mean, it's fair. It was fair. Ryan was Looney Tunes. He was loony. People thought he quit against Stank Davis, and it is what it is. So I can't blame people for going against them. Ryan was robbed from that stoppage. Yes, I seen that too. And you know what the crazy thing is? If you look at Twitter, you look at Instagram, basically social media, people felt the same way. And we said this before, when Haney when Lomachenko beat Haney's ass, people said Haney got his ass beat. And the usual suspects, they come out, they defend, you don't know what you're watching. That's the sweet science, man. And it's like, bro, it's just gosh awful. Okay. I'm glad. And that's what I said, the best thing for boxing. And Haney held on for dear life. I mean, he was hugging more than my grandma on Easter, I mean, we knew what this guy was about. I didn't think he was all that. And I gave Ryan a chance, a slim chance, but I gave him a chance. And he did it. He pulled it off. Timothy Bradley said he quit pro box. Yeah, I seen that. I'm glad you said that. I was actually going to play that in the intro, but like, comment, subscribe. You know what? All the haters coming out, man. All the haters are showing their true colors, and they can't help but hate. And here you go.
Ryan Garcia somehow pulls off the upset. Oh my gosh. I might as well just put commentary and leave the game alone, man. I'm not gonna lie, because I just don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. If Ryan Garcia somehow pulls off the upset, oh my gosh. I might as well just put commentary and leave the.
And there you have it, man. There you have it. The hate in full effect. They hate to see it, bro. And they can't even hide it. That's the crazy thing. They can't hide it. And people call us, they say we're racist. They say we're biased. And it's like, bro, we're just combating what we see, right? I heard Crips saying they spiked Haney water. Oh, yeah. I mean, all the excuses are coming out. All the excuses. But they don't really have an excuse. The only excuse that I'm seeing is they're trying to start this. It was the weight campaign, right? That it was the 3 pounds. But my rebuttal, and it's an easy rebuttal. There's really no argument here. The easiest thing, the only thing you have to say is, hey, Ryan, Devin Haney was killing himself to make that weight. Devin Haney should have not been at 140, let alone 135. It's his fault for trying to kill himself to making these weights. That's the insane thing. How can you blame Ryan Garcia for being smart? Devin Haney should have never killed himself to make that weight. You know what I mean? And Tim Bradley, you know what? Shove it up your ass. And you know how these guys are phony? You know how they're biased? Because Tim Bradley, they tell Devin to give up the belt. He was killing himself so he could keep that belt and have leverage against smaller guys. And that's how these guys are frauds. They're phonies. You know what I mean? Talking about the weight, but that's what he was doing. He's still a champion, which is crazy. Suleiman said that Devin Haney is still a champion, even after losing, which is mind-boggling. If anything, it was fair. Okay, he should. You know what? You could the title could go vacant and he gets the first crack at it if he wants. Pound. The crazy thing is nobody in social media is bringing up the belt. Ryan changed the game, making the belts irrelevant. That's another thing, man. We said it before. So salute Pound, salute everybody. We've gone through these things. We've said these things before, and you know they say we're crazy, we're biased, this, that, and the third. And you know what? Who had the last laugh? Dr. Umar said they need to check Ryan's raps. Oh, now it's the raps. Okay. Jack Ripper, Ryan learned his lesson from the stink fight, will never be trained again. You know what? And that's an interesting thing because last night at the press conference, you know, Oscar De La Hoya had said pretty much the same thing. He said Ryan Garcia is gonna have basically everybody needs Ryan Garcia now. And I've been saying that. Alfredo, yes, this is good for boxing. Yes, I said that too. All these things, trust me, guys, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I need to come in and say, man, I did it first. I said it first. Okay? I said this was going to be better for boxing. I had said maybe even before the Tank Davis fight that Ryan Garcia is potentially a face of boxing. People laughed at me. They clowned me. But you just have to know boxing, bro. Look, the guy, you know, he's young. He's not super young. He's 25, so he's growing into a man. But he has it all, right? Size, speed, power, the way he fights, the action, the style. He has it all. And the looks, you know, pause, no homo. He has the looks. He has everything. He's the complete package, like an Oscar De La Hoya, you know? Evil Greenie. Also heard Haney's shoes were too heavy. Oh, my gosh. Now it's the shoes. Jack Ripper. Oh, yeah. Hit the link. Hearn's so butthurt he wants Boots versus Ryan next. Okay. Yeah. Jump in. Just hit the link. Oh, there you are. Sorry, guys. Mr. BDA. Salute.
What's up? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Nothing, man. Huh? Oh, yeah. No, you're always welcome, man. You help me. You know. I'm just talking to a wall. But yeah, I'm super excited. How about you?
Yeah, I'm still looking at a couple of things here. I was making the rounds on Twitter, and I see people on Sober's Discord, for example, are posting tweets like Caleb Plant's defending him, Michael Benson. I showed that one on our show earlier, defending Devin Haney, saying, it's just one loss. He's still, 25 years old. He already accomplished so much. I'm thinking, wait a minute. They didn't do this for Josh Taylor. I don't remember. I don't remember them doing this for Teofimo Lopez when he lost to Kambosos. And I don't remember them doing this for Lomachenko when he lost to Haney. Maybe I missed it. Again, I'm open to the possibility that maybe I missed it. But I certainly don't remember seeing any such tweets from these media personalities or boxers like Caleb Plant. I can only why are there? Why do you think, Frank? Why are they all of a sudden like being defensive about Devin Haney?
Well, my opinion is when you put so much stock, they were trying to create the next Mayweather, the next American star. They can't say they were wrong. They can't get it right? They always try to tell us we don't understand the sweet science. We don't know what we're watching. That was my biggest gripe. The reason I got into the YBC is because I was watching this one channel. I'm going to just say his name. Fuck that guy. You probably seen him. I guess he goes by Boxing Gems. Have you heard of this guy?
I think I've heard. Hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've heard. Is it Hidden Gems?
He goes by Boxing Gems. I don't even want to give him clout, but Tim Bradley gives him shots out on the air. Okay. And one of the first things so I got into YTBC because I seen the first Haney Kambosos fight, and I said this was awful. It stunk. This guy's not all that. And I went in this guy's show and I said that, and they just, how they typically do. Oh, you don't know shit, man. You're just a hater. I said, it's fucking boring. This guy's not a superstar. You don't know what you're watching. And they try to hit you with these kind of terms. You don't know what pairing is, these kind of technical terms. And I was just like, bro, it's still a fucking fight. People want to be entertained. And then I got booted. You're the only place I've never been booted, BDA.
Well, I don't know if that maybe that's our problem, but no, listen, yeah, because I think we've talked about. Well, I talked enough about it, but if you want to, we'll talk about it as well. But about what actually transpired in the ring. But yeah, now I'm curious about the the behavior of some people. Like I said, Caleb Plant all of a sudden coming to his defense. Dan Rayfield too, Michael Benson. I'm thinking, what was again? I didn't see this type of behavior for Josh Taylor, for Lomachenko, for Teofimo Lopez. I've only really seen it for Devin Haney, man. And again, yeah, Devin Haney was being overhyped. And now, don't get me wrong, like I keep saying, he's a good fighter. You don't get to his level just by mistake, but he was being overhyped. No head movement. His defense mainly consisted of dipping to his right, ducking below the waist, and then smothering his opponent or clinching them. And I'm sorry, man, but clinching, see, this is why I abhor clinching too, because it's a cop-out, and guys don't learn how to fight on the inside because of the clinching, because they get away with it. And I don't know, man, Frank, maybe it's because I haven't slept well since last night, and I'm drinking coffee here for the first time in months, but I'm starting to see a bit of a shift in the balance of power when it comes to boxing points of views. People are finally talking about getting the matches to start quick in between fights. You know, usually they especially ESPN, they talk for half an hour. Now they're starting to speed it up a little bit to get to the fights, like they do at the UFC. We started seeing people calling out runners, like they finally, when Shakur Stevenson got called out for his horrible performance against De Los Santos. People the people that I expected to say, "Oh, that's boxing," you know, it's up to the other guy to cut the ring, blah blah. I didn't see that. People were actually going in on Shakur Stevenson. Same thing with Ortiz against Lopez. And now with this, people were calling out the clinching from both guys. Don't get me wrong, Ryan Garcia, he was clinching too. And the reason why I detest clinching is because I can only wonder how much better this fight would have been had Harvey Duck would have, had he penalized both guys and made them fight a clean fight. Maybe it would have been more entertaining, more aesthetically pleasing. Again, I reiterate, when Vladimir Klitschko fought Brian Jennings and he was being allowed to clinch, and finally, near the 10th round or whatever, I think it was the championship rounds, the referee told Klitschko, he penalized him, took a point away. And Klitschko, man, the night turned, man. It was night and day. He couldn't clinch anymore, so he started panicking. And Brian Jennings started getting to him. And it became a way more entertaining fight. And one could only wonder, hey, what would have happened if the referee had taken a point away in the 6th round? You know what I mean? So I'm not just saying clinching off for one guy and then I let it go for another. No, it's overall clinching ruins fights. Makes them ugly, and it prevents us from seeing who the best boxer is. I like clean boxing, man. Technique, skill, the whole shebang. Now, I'm not averse to any complete clinching, because look, if a guy's horribly wobbled or whatever, he needs to clinch. I suppose that's, I don't know, but what I'm saying is that's what we as boxing fans have to get together and discuss. We're never gonna get to that point, however, if we're still debating about whether it's legal or not. Now, we should get to the point and agree that clinching is ugly and it mars fights. And from there, we can proceed and progress and evolve the sport.
I agree 100%. And we've said it before. And what I was talking about, that guy, they say that's a sweet science. It's veteran tactics. You know the whole roundabout way they go about it. But yeah, from an entertainment perspective, it doesn't do anything. Like you said, it's not pleasing to the eye. And people have said that, one of the things about it is that people have forgotten how to fight inside. It's about, you can fight inside. You can fight in the phone booth. It's very amateurish, right? To grab.
Absolutely. And that's, yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, man. So I'm a little bit out of it here. My timing's off. But you bring up the good point about the inside fighting, because like I keep saying, it's one thing to know how to fight on the inside, it's another to be able to get on the inside. Some guys can't do it. Some guys can they can fight on the inside if the other guy goes to them. Like, for example, Regis Prograis can't fight on the inside like he showed against Josh Taylor. That's because Josh Taylor made him in the center of the ring. Now you put him in there against the guy that knows how to move, like Zorrilla or Devin Haney, all of a sudden it's a different type of fight.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what makes it elite boxers, that they can do it all, right? They can get on the inside and fight. They can fight from the outside. They can nullify their opponents, whether it's a hook, it's a jab, it's a cross. What I noticed when I first seen Devin Haney is he reaches out. He does this thing where he actually reaches out and grabs the opponent.
Right.
And that's a bad habit. That's a bad habit because somebody if they were instinctive, is going to step back and clock you. You know, I don't know who's a good inside fighter in the game right now. I can't think of somebody to get, but maybe William Zepeda, I think, does a great job of jabbing and getting inside. But what you're saying, BDA, is see, that's the problem. So William Zepeda fought Shakur Stevenson, right? What we've always said is William Zepeda on an even playing field, we know William Zepeda is going to do the same shit. He's going to fuck that boy up. But with the clinching and the elbows, he's not going to get a fair chance, and he'll probably just lose a boring fight on points.
Right. Yeah, you're right, man. And we were exploring this possibility on the last episode you did about how people weren't giving Ryan Garcia a fair chance. And again, I'm not saying I picked him to win, but I did say that don't be surprised if he gives him a more difficult fight than Prograis did. Because again, Prograis is another guy, fights with his hands down, very good upper body movement, good counter punching, dynamite left hand. But based off of that, like, Frank, people assume, I've met people like this before, they assume that because a guy fights on the back foot, he's doing it out of choice, and that if he wanted to, he could fight on pressing forward. And that's just not true, man. There's guys that don't know how to do it. Case in point, Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia gave him a taste of his own medicine with the lateral movement, circling around the ring, and you saw Haney couldn't do much. And then when Haney finally got close, Ryan Garcia would clinch him. Gave him a taste of his own medicine. And, so it came to a shock to a lot of people. But hey, if one guy's able to do it, then the other guy should be allowed to do it. And you saw that Haney was unequipped and unprepared to deal with that type of style.
And that's an excellent point, too, because that's the Mayweather effect, right? This kind of back foot, make the guy come to you. And we've said it on your show. I've heard you say it. Other people say it, is that, it actually takes more skill to come forward and throw punches. The first thing you go into a gym, what you're going to see most kids do is run around the ring. Even very amateurs, right? What do? They're always bouncing on their feet. They're jittery like rabbits. And you have to kind of teach them to settle down and kind of walk in the ring. You can still move, but you don't want too much wasted energy. But, the mistake that they always get the term flat for the Mexicans, but you don't think Julio Cesar Chavez could have outboxed people?
Well, when he fought Rocky Logridge, he fought him from the outside. He wasn't exactly running, but he did show he fought a guy that he was ultra tough, wasn't going to be able to walk through him like he did with everyone else. And he decided, hey, let me switch it up a little bit. Ruben Olivares, the grandfather of Mexican boxing, predecessor to Chavez, he could box too when he wanted to. It wasn't always pretty, but he could, get on the back foot and jab. But it was just more fun for him to wait on the inside, launch left hooks to the bodies, and try to knock a guy's gum shield out of his mouth. But you make a good point too. Is in the gym, I've noticed that too, and I was certainly the other way when I started boxing. Is you're on the back foot and on the counter punching mode because you're not comfortable taking the lead. It's intimidating taking the lead because you're opening up yourself. I don't think people understand how difficult it is to actually hit somebody who's trained not to be hit. It's difficult, man. You got to set things up properly. You got to know how to explode, when to explode, how to cut the ring, the distance quickly, feint, set up your shots. It's very difficult. And that's why it's always easier for some of these guys to get on the back foot. And it's also interesting why some of these guys allowed themselves to fight the way they do. Getting in on the back foot with the help of the referee, the help of the judges, being allowed to clinch, to run around the ring. It is what it is, man. Some of these people, that's how they do it. And now he got a taste of his own medicine, and whoop, it wasn't pretty, was it?
You're right. He was completely lost coming forward. His jab didn't work coming forward. He couldn't jab because coming forward because he couldn't really take a step back. They showed clips of like Shakira, how they jump back. That I was watching Cambosos last night, and he was just abusing Cambosos being able to sidestep and all that. But coming forward, he had zero answers. There was nothing he could do. He could not. Mayweather was great at jab stepping to the body. Hey, you have to be extremely fast and quick, and I never seen that in Devin Haney. I didn't think he was fast or quick. He was just very basic and very technical. He was it's just a good car, right? He was never a Ferrari or Lamborghini, and I think that particular demographic they want to say most skills my athleticism, but Devin Haney never had that. That's the crazy thing.
Well, you know what? That's why there's hope yet for American boxing because Jaron Ennis is a guy who does have power and speed. So he's a little bit like the Ryan Garcia, but at the welterweight. But like Ryan Garcia, who was struggling to make 135 at one point, or didn't know if he wanted to fight 135, 140. It's the same thing with Jaron Ennis. How much longer is he going to be able to stay at 147? Because the dude looks like he's a super middleweight, or maybe even a light heavyweight, depending on how things go. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jaron Ennis. Yeah, people are talking about Jaron Ennis, Ryan Garcia fight. I mean, come on. Ryan Garcia just recently moved up to 140. I think people are a little nuts trying to.
Yeah, that's like when Inoue whooped Fulton's ass. They're like, oh yeah, he should fight Gervonta Davis now. You know what I mean?
Come on. Yeah, that's being a little premature here or exaggerating, but you know that's Solvers. We were talking about how in your Discord people were posting how Caleb Plant is defending Haney, and Frank and I were talking about how I don't remember this type of defense for Josh Taylor when he lost to Lopez, or Lopez when he lost to Kambosos, or Lomachenko when he lost to Haney. Nobody ever came out and said, "Hey, these guys are still all-time great fighters. They only lost once." Blah blah blah. Like, what do you think is going on here?
It's this weird cult, bro. They just thought that they found their Floyd Mayweather, and they found their Floyd Mayweather 2.0, and shit just blew up in their face. And I wasn't picking on Ryan, right? But it's because, I mean, obviously I wanted him to win. Y'all heard me. I hyped that guy as soon as he landed a good shot. But you know what I mean? He had to show us something, bro. And he showed us something yesterday. There's a paradigm shift, and these guys don't like it, bro. They're in love with their slick athletic types. I don't know, how else to look at it, BDA, at this point, because it's like, why you guys gotta save him, bro? That was an ass whooping, dude. That was almost as bad as Crawford and Spence. You know what I mean?
But speaking of that, guys, how come we, people say, Canelo. Oh, that's the other thing, Canelo. I don't think I ever saw any of these pundits like Michael Benson or fighters like Caleb Plant defend Canelo after he lost to Bivol. I only saw a lot of people laughing at him. Meanwhile, these guys are defending, but I've never seen Canelo get battered the way Crawford did, the way Fulton did, the way Wilder did, the way Spence did, and now the way Charlo ran around the ring in survival mode against Canelo, and or what we saw with Haney. Have you ever seen Canelo, Lomachenko, Usyk, Inoue beat up the way Haney was yesterday? His face all lumped up, getting dropped multiple times.
No, but every time they take a loss, they act like it. They say, "Oh, he got his ass whooped, and he's gonna beat that bitch again." And whoop-de-whoop. They talk really what's the word? I want to say superfluous, but
you could say that.
Hyperbole.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they act like what they're fucking doing, what they're doing to their opponents in the ring is they act like they're really hurting them, and that's the last thing y'all do. You know what I mean? It's a weird way of covering up their bad styles and stuff like that. But I'm glad they're getting exposed, bro. I'm glad they're getting exposed. Get these fucking styles out of boxing. Get them the fuck out of here.
Thank you. I think you know what it is, Sobers. What you're saying, I think it's like a safety first style. Right? Like
like anything not to get hit. No, it's like this, bro. And I don't want to get too spicy on your channel, bro. But no, it's like these dudes, bro. They do it like they're trying their hardest not to do their job, bro. They're paid to fight, and they're trying their hardest to not fight in the fight. You know what I mean? To get out of the fight without fighting, without getting hit, bro. You know what I mean? You try your hardest to avoid a fight, and this is what you're paid to do.
Well, you gotta imagine
it's just like a bad work ethic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've said it before, bro. I've seen them. I'm just gonna say it like this, man. It's a safety first style, and Floyd Mayweather made it popular. I think BDA hopped back on. We lost him. He wants to hop back in. A safety first style, like you said, they don't want to get hit. Look pretty, right? Ali did it with the whole. What's it called? Dancing in the water, dancing in the rain without getting wet.
Yeah. Swim without getting wet, all that bullshit.
Right.
Hey, I seen Timothy Bradley. Someone dropped the interview, and he was saying that it wasn't an even playing field, and he was harping on. He said the fight was at 140, and He should have made 140. He signed a contract, and if he wanted to fight at 143, he should have made it at 143. It's not fair. It wasn't an even playing field. And he's all harping on those 3 pounds, dude. But no one was doing that no one was doing that except Ryan. You know what I'm saying? A couple of us when he lost to Davis, right? And they had that double weight clause. And everyone around him was saying, "Shut the fuck up, bro. You signed the contract, right?" And Timothy Bradley was just kept harping on those 3 pounds. You signed to make 140. Why couldn't you make 140? Timothy Bradley knows, bro. There was a new contract made. There was a new contract signed for 143, and Haney accepted it. There was money exchanged, and that's when he went in the ring thinking, you know what I mean? That's what happened, bro. They made a new contract.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Sobers. Like, if Haney was afraid of that, or he was afraid of the disadvantage, like you said, he could have just terminated the fight or gone on in against Barboza. But like you said, the money. He got, Ryan Garcia. Let's start calling him the carnivorous plant. Or what do they call those carnivorous plants? They send out
the fly trap.
The fly trap. Yeah, he sent out this sweet scent, and the fly came in, and he took the bait.
Yeah, bro. He used the FBA's greatest weakness, money.
Bling bling.
Yeah, bro.
That's a great point. Like, look, the guy accepted the terms. Why is he? Because again, like Sober said, when Garcia was depleted against Tank Davis, people say, "Oh well, it's his fault." I mean, as if that erases the struggle he had to make to make the weight. Well, the same thing here. According to their logic, the fact that Haney accepted these terms erases whatever depletion these guys want to play with.
Well, my thing is, why was he even trying to make this weight? I said this before. I don't know if you heard it. Bradley would get thrown out right away because number one, Devin Haney got to keep his belt, which is another fuck thing. He's still a champion, I guess. But that's what he's doing. He's killing himself to make the weight. So how can you cry about a guy who's killing himself to make the weight to have that advantage?
Exactly. There was it's true that Haney did have to make weight, whereas Ryan Garcia probably just, tried maybe once or twice and said, screw it. But when it comes to the size advantage, these guys were always saying, oh, if they make the weight, okay. So Haney accepted the terms and he still showed up big himself. And he had a nice 36 hours to replenish. If that never affects guys, then I don't want to hear this whole thing about weight bullying again.
Well, why is Haney trying to be a 135er or a 140 pounder? That's the thing. Well, it's like Bradley. Huh? Go ahead.
Well, you know why, man. Come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So how does Bradley in good faith even try to say something like that when it's obvious that Haney was doing it for an advantage?
Yeah, you're right, man. And look, Bradley's all over the place. He picked Prograis to beat Haney. He's just like, oh, Haney ain't going to be able to handle the power. Now that because he was wrong in that fight, he got hypnotized and thought that Haney's his master boxer because he thought Prograis was a master boxer. He just got a reality check last night.
I seen that. And one thing I knew about Bradley when I was watching Kambosos and Haney won, he was doing that. Ooh, oh yeah, that's masterclass.
There we go. Exhibit A.
And you're talking about why is the media not why did they not show this support for Lomachenko, for you said Teofimo, and that's a good question. Why? I think because they hyped this guy up so much. They put him on pound for pound, even after we seen. This is the hypocrisy, right? Like Ring Magazine. This shows you the double speak, right? They put Haney on pound for pound, but they kept Lomachenko. It's almost like, yeah, we know he lost, but we can't say he lost, so we'll just throw Lomachenko a bone.
I was even bro. Go ahead, my bad.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I got a background noise.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good point there from Frank about they put this. I mean, they have Tank Davis number 10, I think. Well, put Junto Nakatan in there. Put Kazuto Ioka. Put Taraji in there. Why they say still again? It's this obsession with having American fighters on there. And I mean, look, at least Haney, okay, he was undisputed, but Tank Davis, you got him on there.
I mean, I understand. It's what you see, right? This is what we see, but it makes sense. They're trying to promote these guys, and it makes sense, right? Because they're trying to sell pay-per-views. It is a business. But as far as the sport goes, they're not the best. Well, Haney, I never thought he was the best, but we know what time it is, man. And like I said, this is a bigger upset. Is this the biggest upset you've seen in this era of BDA? Can you think of a bigger upset?
I still have Luis versus Joshua, but like you said, you made a good point about that Haney was undisputed, so maybe there is that. But I still think that look, Haney, I wouldn't have a problem putting him lower top 10 pound for pound, but I didn't have him top 5. So because of that, to me this wasn't as big. And again, I didn't pick Garcia, but I was here on the last show you did with what's his name, HD, and yourself, and we were talking about and we were talking about how come people aren't giving Garcia that much of a shot, and it wasn't necessarily because Garcia's that good. It's because Haney's overrated.
Wait, say that again? That people weren't giving Ryan a chance?
Yeah, well, it's not. It's not that necessarily that Ryan is that good, in my estimation, but it's because Haney was being overhyped. That was the main problem.
Okay, the people that were gave Ryan no chance. They just overrated Haney.
Exactly.
But see, that's my problem. My problem is you can't watch Haney and thought that he was good. And is it just me or like I just never seen it? I don't seen it. I never seen it to him. So what were these people watching? Is it just they're trying to believe in Floyd Mayweather so much? When they thought they were looking at Haney, they thought they were looking at Floyd Mayweather. That's what I'm imagining they were doing.
I think there was a little bit of that.
It was a mirage coming from the nostrils, dude. It was hypnotizing them, dude. They thought they saw a young boy.
Nah, come on.
Well, it was his dad too. His dad was paying off these guys. That's the rumors, that he was paying off a lot of media and YouTubers to push his narrative. That
there's pictures of them eating together, bro.
Oh, okay. Okay, then it's not.
You know what I mean? Like, they got pictures of all them eating together. And that guy Billy Hoya on Pimps, he posted a little clip of that guy Coach Malachi. What that fool Drew Titan call him? Roach Malacoon or some shit.
Oh
yeah.
And he was saying that, like, we're not going to discredit Ryan, and he dominated, and he paused, and like he kind of, his eyes started fluttering. He goes like, he dominated in spots, and that's what we're going to talk about for the next week. But you could tell, bro, like his brain was having a little aneurysm, trying to say that he got his ass.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're kind of breaking up, homie. No problem.
This time it was different. This time it was different. He had a good connection over at my show. Now he's got a bad connection here, man.
Yeah, did I sound good on the show today, video?
Nice and clean, man. Nice and clean.
No worries, though, man. No worries. As far as the fight goes, what do you think the key was to this fight? I was watching a lot of highlights, a lot of trash talk. People were pissed off. It looked like a funeral in there. They were showing like a lot of Haney fanboys leaving. Like, I guess Clarissa Shields was crying. It looked like a funeral in there. People said they were taking down their channels. What was your assessment of the fight? What do you think it was that Garcia did? Because, I mean, I even said I didn't think he was that good of a boxer. Was it just the size, the speed, and the power? What's your guys' analysis?
Well, I don't think it was just the size and the speed. I mean, you need to know how to use those attributes. And say what you want about Garcia, that he drags his feet, he doesn't really jab that much. His right hand isn't all that. But he knows how to land that left hook, and he knows how to pressure guys. And not for nothing, but this is one of the things that I've been saying too, is that I respected Ryan Garcia in 2021 and 2022 when he stopped boxing from the long range and on the back foot and actually started pressuring guys and cutting the ring off, showing that he could do that, and if he wanted to, he could revert to his amateur style, his natural amateur style, which was fighting at long range, and that's what he did in spots against Devin Haney. And he wasn't landing off the back foot, mind you, but he was preventing Haney from getting a lot of offense done. And there was a point where when Haney leapt in with a left hook, and Garcia pivoted, weaved under it, and pivoted away, and made Haney look like an idiot, man. Fumbled on the ropes.
My takeaway was Ryan's hand speed is truly elite. I think people were cooking me on your show, the preview show you guys did, the workup show to the fight. You know, I said Ryan Garcia is capable of beating, just like you said, Andy Ruiz. These guys had just, I'm a Speed 100. I've never seen Mexicans with that type of hand speed. Am I insane for saying that?
Well, I mean, De La Hoya had that type of hand speed. Fernando Montiel was another very explosive Mexican, good hand speed.
I remember that. But, yeah,
there's Mexicans with good hand speed.
You know, because Mexicans are for the most part, you know, more I guess plotters, more body work. You know, they kind of almost, what is it saying? They outwork you. Like, right. Did you see the Scrappy Ramirez, the Jimenez Scrappy Ramirez fight last night? Yeah,
that was a good one.
That guy outworked him, right? Like Scrappy was the technical, the kind of flat, the fleet-footed counter puncher, and he just got outworked. He just got worn down and beat down. You know, Barbosa, another Mexican fighter. Do you think he lost that fight?
I didn't catch all the rounds, but that's what a lot of people were saying, and he certainly appeared to be laboring to get in there. You know, Shazar in the Discord said it was 2 punchlets going at it, and it's true. Neither guy seemed like they were gonna take it the other guy out. It was just a lot of volume punching, and but Barbosa really does appear to be in a bit of a bind here, because if he fights Haney, I don't think he can out. I mean, he's only really, his shot would be to out hustle Haney, outwork him. Mm-hmm. I don't think he'll bounce it from the outside, and he doesn't appear to have the punching power to be able to do what Ryan Garcia did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't have the, I'm going to just say it, the athletic tools. And if we talk about the slick style or more athletic, more skills, Ryan Garcia is probably as close as you can get to it. You know, like take Virgil Ortiz. He's probably more typical Mexican. He's going to come in. He has heavy hands, heavy shots, but he's not going to probably be fast. And Ryan Garcia is gifted. So what I seen last night, I seen Ryan Garcia. He had an effective jab in the sense he was sticking it out, and then he turned it over. I watched the replays, and man, that hook, you didn't see it. Haney didn't see it. He just couldn't see it. It was crazy. The blistering speed on it and the power. Did you hear one of the shots where they said he broke his jaw? Did you hear that? Did you hear that one, BDA?
You said it, but I rewatched the fight, and I haven't heard any crack or anything.
Okay. Well, I was watching it, and you know, I think the first knockdown he hit him on the button, and I think it was either the second one where I thought I heard his face crack. Like it was just like, jeez, ooh, yeah, no, I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, I've seen fights like that where a guy, you know, like when I was watching Benavidez Andrade, like I thought I heard his head, like you can hear his brain rattle around. Kind of graphic, but yeah, you know, one of the controversies was the ref. What do you think about the ref, BBA? Go ahead.
You know, I thought both guys were being dirty and all that, but then in hindsight, he started favoring Haney more as the fight went along. And if he would have allowed both guys to be as dirty as they wanted to, okay, fine, whatever. But he didn't. He started favoring Haney a little bit more. So that I do find bizarre that this dude would do that. But
I mean, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm unsurprised that he started favoring Haney later on.
I was literally screaming at the top of my lungs at the screen when the ref was like he was giving Haney as much time as he could. I was ready to throw a beer at the screen. I was cussing. I was like, "What the fuck? Oh my god!" And then he could have counted. People said they seen like 3 or 4 knockdowns that he could have counted.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Are you one of the people that thinks that it should have been 5 knockdowns as opposed to just 3?
Yeah, of course. That's what I see. And I would, people were getting scared at my house because I was so angry. I was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Yeah, it was
Daddy, no.
He kept giving him as much time as he could.
Yeah,
and then on the break, and then on that break, when I knew, I thought it was over. I thought Haney was gonna win because after the knockdown, he was trying to break him up, and Ryan hit him on the break, and then he took the point without a warning, and I thought it was over. I said, "Oh man, they're gonna rob this kid," and they tried.
Yeah, it wasn't for a lack of trying there, Frank. And, Jimmy made the good point that he said, usually a punch on the break is an immediate point taken, a penalty. But this was a tap. Now, again, he shouldn't have done it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying it. But to take away a point, I think that was Harvey Duck at that point trying to take control of the fight, saying, you ain't going to get the one past me. But it was a weird choice to make. And the fact that he never took a point away from Haney. See, that's what I hate about these referees. Warning after warning after warning, but then they don't take any points away.
Especially when Haney was holding on for dear life. I mean, you're talking about holding, and then there's hugging. And he was hugging for dear life. Pretty much after the knockdown, the rest of the rounds, he was holding on for dear life. It was insane. And you're right, like he didn't get a point taken. So not only did Ryan get a point taken from him, but Haney never got a point taken for him. And like you were saying earlier about holding, if the ref would have did his job, we'd have got a knockout.
You know what, man? That's what I'm saying. We can only speculate. When the referees start doing their jobs, then the quality of the fights will improve as well as the health of the sport. Until then, we're stuck with this type of hijinks that we have to discuss after fights. But may I also say that despite all the clinching and all that, Garcia still managed to come out on top. But this is what I hate when guys go, "Oh, why you complaining? It's up to the fighters to do something about the dirty tactics." Well, I want to remind people when Benavidez fought Plant, and Plant was clinching him, and then Benavidez said, "Okay, I'm going to use my form to try to pry you away from me," and then the referee started warning him about it, but he wouldn't warn Plant about the clinching. He never took a point away from Plant either. So, it's up to the other fighter to do something about it. But then when he does it and the referee penalizes him, what the fuck is he supposed to do? That's when we enter the equation. The last line of defense are the fans, especially those who keep it real like you, Frank. And we got to call him out. Otherwise, who else is going to do it?
Jump in, HOD or Sobers.
What's up, bro? Y'all can hear me better now, right?
What's going on, guys?
Thank
What's
you.
up, fellas?
Anything new, Frank? I mean, what's going on in boxing, man?
Just this and that.
Haney got robbed, bro.
Yeah, totally.
Yo, man, I haven't really even slept that well, bro. I mean, I may have like maybe 3 hours of sleep, man. It's been fun, bro. What a fun fight. I've always thought that Haney was never that dude, and the only thing that I hadn't questioned my mind was what Garcia was coming into this fight. Is all that trolling for real or not? And obviously he exposed that he played everybody, and exposed Devin Haney. Basically, Devin Haney has never been that guy. He's a product of perfect matchmaking, and that's that. There's a reason why he was excited to fight Cambosos. There's a reason why he paid step aside money to Fortuna at that time to fight Linares. Is a reason why he paid step aside right now with Sandor Martin to fight, thinking that because Ryan got knocked out by Tank, that he could take him on now. It's a cherry pig gone wrong. He got paid, but definitely paid the price. All credit to Ryan Garcia. Made me proud, and I just hope that the young man takes his craft more seriously And credit to Derek James for taking command of that fucking corner, telling his brother and his father to shut the fuck up and grab his full attention, before he fucks it up. And I can only say, man, good for Haney. Good for Ryan Garcia, man. I don't remember a fight where there's so many memorable pictures like the one you got up right now. There's so many fucking memorable pictures, iconic pictures, bro. It's crazy, man. I'm happy for the young man. Good for him. Christ is king in my book, and that's that.
Can I also
win
say
any money?
that?
Go ahead, BDA.
I lost money. Harvey Dog made me lose money, bro. I should have made like $1,600.
There was a video of Bill Haney outside the hospital in the morning, and he's got this fake ass smile. The type of smile that he probably worked on in the penitentiary. Standing in front of the mirror. Hi, can I interest you in $5,000 worth of unsolicited credit or blah blah blah? He's practicing that smile, cheesing from ear to ear, and he's talking about how. Devin's my son. I'm still gonna love him. I'm still riding with him. And I'm thinking that goes without saying. Like, why would you have to say I'm still riding with my son? Of course you're gonna have to ride with your son. He's your son. It reminded me of that Chris Rock routine where where people he said that these people would go to Jenny Craig or Jerry Springer or whatever in the crowd, and then they would grab the microphone and go, "I'm taking care of my kids. I'm taking care of my kids." And he's like, "Well, fucker, you're supposed to take care of your kids. What are you arguing against?" I don't get it. It's the same thing with Bill Haney. I'm starting to wonder if what some people said was true, which was that did Devin Haney really want to be a boxer, or was he forced and groomed to be by his father?
Hey, don't be surprised if Bill Haney drops Devin Haney's bags in front of Floyd Mayweather's gym and say, "Man, get out of here."
Damn. He's gonna orphan him. He's gonna make him an orphan.
Well, Bill Haney's a cheer mom, right? Those cheer moms. You ever see those exposés? Those cheer moms. They doll their little 8-year-olds up, and it's just disgusting. Or the son of the coach that wants to beat everybody up, yelling at their kid. Those type of parents. Yeah, that's Bill Haney. I think that's him.
Who knows? Let me not get this wrong. They've done with what they had and how they made it. They made it successfully in the game and made a good chunk of change with it too. So in that respect, they've done great. But now, as far as like legacy and like, can you really break this young man's resume down and really who he is? He just lost to a C-class TikTok fighter who's a Pantene hair model, like he was saying, and he got demolished. For the first time, he fought somebody that like I was saying, of his own size in his prime, where he couldn't wait bully, and look what happened. You cannot teach chin and you cannot teach power, and that young man has neither one of those things.
Makes him look like a joke.
Yeah, it's what's next for the young man? I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do with that email belt again. He's now a paper champion in my eyes. He's gonna pray the belt that for what? So I don't know what they're gonna do, if they're gonna fight Sandor Martin next or what, and how long is he gonna be out? Because he's gonna have to take some time off. I don't think he fights again this year. We don't see him till after Ramadan next year. And
good.
That's how I see.
Are you saying this was Meldrick Taylor-esque? What do you guys think? Is this Meldrick Taylor-esque?
I hope so. I hope we don't see it. I hope he's never the same, bro.
I don't like Haney either, but I'm not gonna wish him, ill. But I'm gonna say that, I wouldn't be surprised if this young man turns into a Thurman after a loss with Pacquiao, and then because he's made good money. This fight is gonna it's gonna bring him a good chunk of change. So silk pajamas are coming back on now, and who knows? I don't know what's really what's in his future, but he doesn't. I don't think he beats any of the other 3 champions at 140. he's gonna have to stick to fighting the Sandor Martins, the Klitschensen, maybe Barboza, those type of guys. He'll do okay with because they got no crack. But if he's gonna get in with Matias or Tio, he's gonna get demolished. So I don't know what's in store for them in the future. I don't wish them ill, but I really don't. At the same time, I don't care to have to see him again. As far as ain't nobody I'm paying attention to in the division.
It's interesting how things change, man, because in 2020, when Lopez beat Lomachenko, he was on top of the world. And then in 2021, a couple of months later, Haney struggles with Linares. And people are saying, oh, imagine if Teofimo Lopez hits him with the right hand. Then a couple of months later, near the end of 2021, Lopez loses. And then a couple of months later, Haney beats Cambosos, the guy who beat Lopez. And then all of a sudden, now Haney's on top. And these things are changing within a year and a half. These things do a 180-degree turn. So I can only imagine what's going to happen a year and a half from now. It's very exciting, man. I got to tell you.
I mean, in that sense, there's a roller coaster ride. But one thing I do know about Teofimo, he's not a product of matchmaking. He's that dude who's going to take whatever fights comes across him, and he got it all out the mud. So unless Teal does something crazy. I mean, I don't know what can Teal do now at 140. But wait on what's going to happen with these other champions. But Devin Haney really was never that guy. I've always said that. He was never that guy. He was a product of WBC matchmaking, and that's all we have from him. He's not fast. He's not powerful, and he doesn't have a chin. So, fighting old guys, that's all he's been doing.
Bruh. Isn't it so sad, bro? The one time he wasn't enormous in the ring against his opponent, he gets mollywopped around that bitch.
Well, he was huge against Lomachenko.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, even against Lomo. Yeah, even against Lomo. I'm just saying, but everybody else.
So if you think about it, Devin Haney is now 29-3-0. Scrub lost in Mexico, lost to Loma, and a mollywop by Ryan Garcia, the TikToker. So
I want to give a shout out to Furioso, man, because when a lot of us were high on Ryan Garcia, and by the way, it's not, again, when I picked Ryan Garcia to beat Tank Davis, I didn't pick him because I thought he was that great. Again, it's like because I thought, like Haney, Tank Davis is being overrated. Think about what Tank Davis does. He runs around the ring and waits for one shot. It's very Deontay Wilder-esque. Of course, the difference is he's got better technique than Wilder when it comes to fighting off the back foot, but the principle remains the same. And by the way that he's fighting, and he's being, again, a lot of his wins have asterisks, and he's been inactive. He's been leading a less than stellar lifestyle. That's all going to catch up to him one of these days. So that's another guy that's
all his wins have conditions. Rolly, Barrios, and Garcia were all with hydration clauses and catch weights. So look, if somebody was rolling out a picture of how Garcia looked versus Tank and how he looked last night, totally different young man. But
absolutely,
it is what it is. I don't have any high aspirations on Globetrotter Tank. He's not playing for the Larry O'Brien trophies. He's an entertainer, and good for him. He's making his money, but I don't involve him in legacy talk.
Right now there's people are starting to realize that their sacred cows weren't as sacred as they believed. I mean, you take a look at Shakur Stevenson. He might still be undefeated, but when it comes to fighting the best, is he really gonna pull the trigger? Because I'm telling you, man, if he would have fought Tank Davis the way he fought De Los Santos, and if that fight would have gone the same way, different judges, maybe the fight goes to Tank Davis. So these guys really need to push pedal to the metal. They need to refine their technique, be more aggressive, and learn how to be aggressive while remaining smart. Because otherwise, things might not go their way, man.
Yeah, we definitely got to push against. We got to definitely push against this finesse of boxing that they call sweet science nowadays. That's bullshit. We don't want to see that. It's not entertaining. It's a disgrace. It puts a black eye in the sport. You wait up all night to watch a fucking good fight, and it turns out to be a shit. I mean, we definitely gotta call that out. I'm gonna give Shakur. I after he did that with Nakatili, he went on a run and he beat the shit out of a few guys in a row. We'll see what he does next, but he's on a tight leash. He cannot do what he did with De Los Santos again, because then he'll definitely fall off the cliff with as far as his popularity that he thinks he has.
Yeah, because I mean that's the same thing with Shakur. It's the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. It's like, who has he really looked good against? Against Jamel Herring, he couldn't crack really. Jamel Herring, Valdez could crack, but he's a, if you want to say Ryan Garcia's a one-trick pony, what do we call Valdez? Always spamming that left hook. I mean, if Shakur Stevenson couldn't beat that guy, then I didn't want to see him again, because Mariaga almost beat Valdez. Kaitot Conceição beat Valdez. And if Shakur Stevenson really is as good as people were saying, then he should have beat him. But now what? I would really be curious to see how Stevenson versus Ryan Garcia would look. Would Stevenson step to him, or would he fight him the same way he fought De Los Santos?
I don't think we'll ever see that happen, unfortunately, because Oscar came out and it said no rematch, we're done with 140, and we're moving on. So they're really gonna go to 147 and play up there, and good for them. I don't think we don't need to see a rematch. And if 140 is really a struggle, then no, why even bother doing that? Just go to 147 and play with the other big boys up there. But Tank is kind of arrogant, man. I mean, like, dude, you're fighting Frank Martin when you have Shakur, Lomachenko, and Navarrete in those divisions. So I'm hoping that after this next fight with Frank Martin, which I expect him to knock him out, really fight somebody, one of those three guys. And if he doesn't, what's the point of being a fan of that dude?
And then on top of that, he's fighting Frank Martin, who looked horrible in his last fight. So the excitement is not even there for that fight either.
And he's another guy who's weight drained. That dude's is a 140 guy. He's been fighting at 138, 137, 139. He's a 140 guy. He's just draining himself down to 135. So we know he's not going to perform versus Tank.
Yeah, what's up? Shout out to the panel. Shout out to Frank. It's Max.
Salute, Max.
Yo,
Salute,
man.
thank you.
Dude, I've been on a high since last night, bro. I slept like 4 hours, bro. Like, for the last 2 years, all I heard when the YTBC, Devin Haney is the greatest. Oh, man, he's the top king at 135, at 140. And I always said it, bro. This guy was not who they said he was. He never was. And Frank, you've heard me talk about it multiple times on different panels, and I got in debates with people. Look, Devin Haney, he's a solid fighter, but he's not an elite fighter. I said this again too. Easiest undisputed champion I've ever seen. Kambosos, everyone knew Kambosos was a guy that got lucky and got a lick off of Teofimo Lopez. You go, and obviously the video's now circulating again. You and your pops dancing like crazy because they gave a split decision win to Kambosos, and now you go for undisputed, and you know you're gonna beat him, so you'll take whatever to become undisputed. I bet you win both of those convincingly, no problem. You don't knock him out, you don't do nothing. That the first fight you clinch like crazy. All right, now you go against an old Lomachenko. I personally had Lomachenko winning that fight, bro. A lot of people had it. And what do? Nah, you don't give him a rematch. You're like, nah, I'm gone. I'm out of here. You go to 140. You don't go for Teal right away. You know what I mean? You're like, you know what? Let's take Regis, a guy who won a vacant belt that never beat Josh Taylor, but got the vacant belt and looked horrible in his fight in New Orleans. Looked horrible. So you go and you take it and you beat him, and now what you saying? Oh, you the king of the 140. Oh, and because Teo had a bad fight, had a like not best looking fight against Jermaine Ortiz. Oh, you the king now, bruh. And again, I think the reason Devin is getting it worse is because Bill Haney would go on all these platforms and try to just downplay everybody else. Everybody from Tank, from Teo, from Lomachenko, everybody, bro. and he got it. Listen. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I was thinking about it the whole day. This could possibly be another Adrian Broner moment in this era of boxing. Let me explain why. We're gonna have to see psychologically if Devin Haney can bounce back. This was an ass whooping. You know what I mean? And let's be real, Harvey Dock saved Devin Haney. He saved him, bro. There was like two times where he said he slipped. Bro, he saved them. And look, Devin Haney, solid B-level fighter. But don't bring up Tank. Don't bring up Tio. Don't even bring up Matiz, because, brother, the chin is not there. It's just not there. It's like I'm seeing Amir Khan again, bro. It's not there, bro. It's not. And Devin Haney, Bill better be very careful. He better be very careful and pick Devin Haney's opponents even better. Go fight Sandor Martin. Because if you go against a Matias or a Tio at 140, they going to send you to the hospital and you done. You better pick carefully, Bill. If you're hearing this somewhere, man, you better be careful who you pick for your son. Because he's a decent B-level fighter. But he just don't got that chin, man, and he don't got that power. Y'all saw them body shots he was doing to Ryan. Ryan was eating that, bro.
So was Lomachenko.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. And for me, this is like payback for Lomachenko, man. And I feel like in some way Tio too, because Tio, you know, the Haneys did whatever they could to try to downplay Bill. I even got into it with Bill one time when he was trying to talk about Kambosos beat the crap out of Teofimo Lopez. Let me tell you something. Tio never got his ass whooped like this against Kambosos, bro. Never.
Yo, and the thing is that Kambosos has never been the same since.
Exactly. He lost to Maxie. That's how you know they look. This is why the narrative they try to push. When Kambosos got the gift decision against Maxie, Devin Haney's on Twitter talking about, oh, you did great, Kambosos, good stuff on getting the win. Like, they rubbing each other's backs to try to make each other's resumes look good, man.
What fight was closer, Kambosos' fight or this fight that we just
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And look, and Kambosos got dropped in that 12, bro. And you talking about Teofimo Lopez and went into like, yo, Bill, let me tell you something. Shout out to BDA, everyone on here. Bill Haney will not be on these platforms for a while talking that talk, bro. Like, and I think that's what makes a lot of people happy. Because here's the thing, like I think having, you know, if you're a father and you're doing your thing for your child, that's great. That's all commendable. But when you go out of your way to try to downplay other people, like, bro, Twitter last night was so lit. And look, Ryan Garcia, let me say it. And Frank, you know, me and Frank I would joke with Frank about Ryan, but let me tell you something. Ryan is good for the sport of boxing, man. This kid is at 147 now. He can do whatever he wants, man. I would love, you know what we wanted between Jermaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez, like a dynamic fight? I would love to see Tio and Ryan run it, man. Because they going to give the fans
that'll be at 147
fight, bro. They give the fans an amazing fight.
I see Ryan fighting Conor Benn next at 147. That's going to be his intro fight, I think. But, you know, man, you know what had me really cracking, bro, this morning after I was, you know, watching all the videos, and there was the snippet right before they were gonna announce the scorecards, bro. B-Hop steps to Bill Haney and tells him, "Allah Akbar."
That was classic.
Yeah, I was like, and then they announced, and right at that moment, Garcia, like, oh shit, bro, that was epic, bro.
Yo, Bernard got his payback too, because you know Bill was talking all that crap. Yo, he got it.
Yo, do you guys hear the rant from Charleston White?
Nah, I ain't hear it yet, but I know he was going at Gilly and Wallow because
no, you got to hear his rant, bro. This morning, it's like a 3-minute rant, yo, because he knows Ryan Garcia personally, and he had him at his house and he prayed with his mother and everything, and he started talking about all that crazy stuff about, you know, that other side of the street versus Christians, Bro, he went crazy, bro. That's nuts.
But tell me right now, right? Devin Haney, he needs to go fight Sandor Martin. He needs to go be in an easier fight because I'm telling you, he's not ready for.
Yeah, that's what I was saying just before you got on. I'm saying his next few touches, and the only guys he can't fight is he can't fight somebody with power. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna fight the Sandor Martin, the Klitschensons, and the Barbozas. Those are his next 3 fights.
You know what's interesting about Bill Haney, man, is this dude was when they beat Cambosos, they're posing for photographs after the fight in the dressing room, all smiles. When they lost this one, they looked like they were at a funeral. And I'm thinking, well, why not be gracious winners as well? Keep the same energy, be happy, be merry, be cheery. No, they don't do it. Only when they win. I don't know. I just studied this. Again,
They left the presser. They caught Bill. I think it was Radio Hakeem. They caught Bill. I posted on Twitter. They got like over 1,000 reshares. They caught Bill trying to go into the car with Dev.
Wait, what?
They stopped. I'm sorry, my mic was going off. They stopped the Bill in the like he was on his way to his car, and they asked Bill, bro, and Bill just looked like a deer in headlights, bro. He's like, we knew he was a good fighter. We knew we didn't fall for his crazy shenanigans. We knew he was a good fighter. I always say he was a good fighter. Bro, no, you did not. I got clips of Devin saying that Ryan Garcia is a C-level fighter. He's not on my level. Bro, man. I'm telling you, I haven't seen, like, I don't know if some of you guys, BDA, Frank, the other brother on the panel, maybe you guys are older with your boxing history, but I saw, who was it? So one of the, like, commentators, like, older guys was saying this was a bigger upset than Tyson versus Buster Douglas. Do you think that's accurate? Like, do you think this is that?
Oh, well, see, that's these people overhyping.
I don't know about that.
Because because they're overhyping Haney, man. Come on, I mean, really, this was a bigger upset than Douglas Tyson. Get the fight, nah, man. Haney wasn't that guy, man. I don't know why these people kept.
Haney never wasn't. I always said that Haney was never that guy. He's a decent fighter with no special effects, no God-given special abilities. There's no X factor. He's not fast. He doesn't have the cat reflexes of like Shakur. He doesn't have the speed and his punches like a Tio or Ryan. And he don't have no chin. He's Amir Khan, bro. So like,
I'll say this. I was thinking because BDA, you said you hold Ruiz AJ as a bigger upset, and then I was like, nah. But I do see what you mean because that was the first Mexican heavyweight ever. So maybe that does topple this, but I think it's bigger than Maidana Broner. I think this is our Maidana Broner.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember when Tarver knocked out Roy Jones. I mean, to me, that was a shock because you thought that okay, if Tarver wins, he's gonna do it
was a moment,
by decision. Too. Yeah, he's gonna do it by decision. The way he almost pulled it off in the first fight, that was a shock. That was an upset. The way it happened. This, I mean, it was still a pretty competitive fight. Yeah, very sloppy again. I would have liked to have seen the referee do his job and actually deduct points so that both guys would have fought cleanly, as opposed to all the mauling and groping that we saw.
But don't you think the ref saved them, BDA? Don't you think? Because I think he saved them, bro. I think that fight should have been like at that one point, and especially when he took that one point, I'm like, nah, bro, they should stop this fight. Like Haney, bro.
He saved them in the 7th, and we know that for a fact.
Yeah, he saved them, bro. I really believe that he saved them, and the fact that he didn't even give Ryan a warning and took a point, that was shocking. I was like, what? Oh, nah, they trying to rob this guy, bro. They trying to rob this guy.
And they almost did if you look at the scorecards, right? So, I mean, so the fact is that Ryan literally had to not only beat the shit out of Devin, he had to fight the referee, he had to fight the corrupted judges, he had to fight the fucked up ass commentary and the zone. He fought everybody. But a lot of things he brought it upon himself because he was not acting normal. You know what I mean? We get that, but the overhypeness and all that stuff that they always had on Haney, he was never that dude. I've always said it.
He was never, bro.
He was never that dude, man. Never. And all this bullshit. He's not chinny. He's never been dropped. Like, motherfucker, he can't recover. He doesn't recover. That's why he's chinny.
Bro, I don't know if you saw. I really like the boxing voice. I'm always tuning in, and they had Matias on an interview 2 weeks ago, and they were translating it, but in Spanish. Yo, Matias called it, bro. In the interview, he was telling Nestor, he was like, "Look, Devin Haney, he's a chicken. He's a chicken." And Nestor's like, "Whoa, why you calling him a chicken?" And he's like, "Because I see it. When Devin Haney gets hit, his eyes open up and he gets scared. So I know he's a chicken." And bro, exactly how Matias says, exactly how it played out, bro. When that one knockdown where you guys know where he got hit clean and he fell back, it looked like he saw like God, bro. It's like Devin Haney saw God for a second, bro.
Hey, did the Haney voice close shot, bro? Are they done, bro?
Nah, Ness was there. Yo, bro, they had over like 2,000 people call in, bro. I mean, over 2,000 people watching. Like, they was there cooking, bro. But it was a good show. It was a good show. But shout out to Ness. His guy lost and he took it on the chin. But
yeah, was his fat boy next to him?
No, Danny's he was with Devin Haney for the camp. So he should. Everyone's waiting for him to come back on the show because Danny was talking about Devin Haney's gonna knock out Ryan Garcia. Yo, bro. Anybody that like, I did not take anyone serious when they were saying that Devin was gonna stop or knock out Ryan Garcia. I'm like, when has Devin ever knocked someone out in the last like 5 years? Like,
when the Haney said they were gonna kill Ryan Garcia. Remember that?
Crazy.
They said in the build to the fence, like, man, come on, man.
You know, it's this thing has been always on his mind. I mean, on Devin Haney. You know, I mean, it's been for years that he's been fighting this mental game about his power. I saw, like, I don't know if I was on here, but I saw a video of James Toney doing a training with Haney, and James Toney got mad. You know how he slurs his words? He's like, stop slapping me, man. I feel like a female. You slapping me, man. Hit me.
Yeah, nah, man.
So he's been playing with this power thing forever. You know what I mean? And he was trying to make, credit that he tried. I mean, I'm gonna give him that. He tried to impose his will, but bro, there it is, face down, ass up.
That first round, bro, when he got clipped with the hook, bro, I said, yo, he never recovered after that, Frank. He never recovered. Like, he just don't got the chin, bro. He just don't got it. And for you to be a champion at that weight class against those killers,
you didn't even see that. You didn't even see it coming, bro.
Make it. Unfortunately, man, I really don't see and this is. I hope Devin comes back because I think I'm not gonna say, yo, you're done, because I mean I'm like basking in my victory in a way, because so many people were like, I had so many debates about Devin Haney, but the reality is he can come back, but they're gonna have to be very strategic, even more with his career. Because if he runs into Tio, Matias Tank, or Jerron Boots Ennis, bro, they
you never get in the ring with any of those guys. Bro.
Yeah, they're gonna try to avoid those guys, and I'm happy, especially for Tio, because I said, man, there was a lot of platforms that went against Teofimo, man, with Devin Haney. Like, I think Punch and a couple of other brothers were the only ones still repping Tio and Devin Haney. I just always knew, man. I always knew that Devin Haney wasn't the goods how they sold him to us. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, I don't have a problem with a fighter improving over time, and him staying in that lane like, yo, I'm just trying to get better. I'm trying to get better. But the fact that how Bill and all these channels promoted him, it's like, dude, y'all pushing the narrative too much, and I would get sick of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I saw videos, man, where people on Twitter, and people are saying, man, oh yeah, man, you're witnessing greatness from Devin Haney. I'm thinking, look, the guy is good, but come on, man, greatness. I mean, he's 25 years old and he hasn't really had a marquee victory. I mean, it was supposed to be the Lomachenko one, but that was too contentious. And then Prograis, good win, but I mean, that's what's going to be the big win for his career, Hall of Fame thing. And it's not, man. It's just, people were jumping the gun.
Would you see BDA? Would you say that I stand and I'll die on this hill. I say that Devin Haney had the easiest route to undisputed, man.
I mean,
would you agree with that statement, or?
I mean, that's complicated in a way because it just so happened to be that he fought a guy who had all the belts, so that's not really his fault. But yeah, to proclaim him, some people were making that to be as if he was this long reigning champion, and he wasn't. He went to Kambosos' hometown, Australia, and they made it out to be as if it was this big accomplishment. Meanwhile, Kambosos did it when he beat Lopez, and it's guys do it all the time when they fight outside their countries in the USA. But for some reason, this time it was Devin Haney deserved all the credit for traveling to Australia, and then it was a good. Don't get me wrong, he won all the belts, he did it easily, but he also clinched a lot in that fight, and very few guys wanted to call it out. I mean, even some people got upset when ESPN started pointing out with the clinch meter. They started putting in a graphic how many, and
58
they don't want them to call him out. Jeez, Louise, yeah.
I mean, you could argue that Crawford's run at 140 was not the. I mean, it was nothing of epic. It wasn't Josh Taylor run. You know, Josh Taylor had a much. I think he probably one of the greatest runs to undisputed.
Oh yeah, he cleaned up the division. That's when you say somebody cleaned up a division. You know what I mean? Like again, man, Devin Haney could be back, but I'm telling you, psychologically, and you guys are more. I don't consider myself like a hardcore like some of you guys, either no more, but psychologically, I don't know if Devin Haney will be able to bounce back. I hope he can, but as you guys see, look at something with Broner and Maidana. I mean, Broner was never the same after that, man. From a psychological perspective,
But will Devin Haney get back on the horse? You know what I mean? Is he gonna? You know what I mean? I don't know what type of a fighter he's gonna be now. If he was the way he was now, imagine when he comes.
But brother, where's he gonna go? He's trapped. Where you gonna go? You gonna go to 47? Those
back
guys
to
are bigger and they're stronger. What you gonna do? You gonna fight Matias?
Cut your toes off.
Theo?
He could cut his toes off, and cut his toes off and try to make 135 and go back down.
Man, it's crazy, man.
Because I don't know what I really don't know. And then he's not hanging out. Look, he's now again another paper champion. You know
Basically,
what I mean?
Yeah.
He's another paper champion. Because to me, that belt should have been vacated. You know what I mean? And that's that. And then
Dan Raphael's full of crap. He was on Twitter and he was talking about, the 3 pounds, and I told Dan, I was like, Dan, cut the crap. Do you know that Devin Haney probably rehydrated to like 165 again? Come on, bro, stop it. You know what I mean? Like in Timothy Bradley, bro, bro, they gotta.
They're on his ass too, because I mean.
He's on Twitter. He responded like a couple of minutes ago. He's like, I was just telling the truth and giving my opinion, bro. There's too much hate in Timothy Bradley for these young guys, yo.
There's no such thing as truth. I mean, if you point something out, for example, about a fighter, let's say you point out the fact that Cepeda's not the quickest guy out there. Okay, that's a truth, right? You could argue that, but when you make a pick, that's not a truth. And that's what I think Timothy Bradley is confusing there. Is you know what happened? I said this earlier. He picked Prograis to beat Haney, I think. He said, Haney's not going to be able to handle the power. And then once he did, he overhyped Prograis. So by extension, he ended up overhyping Haney because Haney beat Prograis. And that's why he picked Haney overwhelmingly to beat Ryan Garcia coming into this fight. He overhyped Prograis. And, he's a boxing analyst. He's seen the fights, and he's a boxing head as well because he was a former champ. He knows how to break down a fight. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened with him.
Yeah. What do you think, BDA? Where does Devin Haney go from here? If you were part of his team, what do you tell him to do?
I think you mentioned it earlier. Put him in there against a non-puncher, man. Put him in there against Barboza. Or put him in there against Christopher Richardson Hitchens, because that dude Christopher Hitchens can't really crack all that much, and it would be a fight in the center of the ring, both guys jabbing each other. And I do think Haney has a superior jab to Hitchens. I think he could outbox him, but then again, the problem right now with Haney is he's going to be out of commission for what, 6 to 8 months maybe. So
yeah, he said he didn't break his jaw, but bro, his jaw would look broke to me.
Yeah.
That joke would look like a chickmunk, bro.
Jermaine Ortiz is another guy he could fight.
You know what? That actually would be a good idea. Yeah.
You know what? I think Ortiz beats him, man.
Yeah, I'm not
sure.
There's a reason why.
We said that shit before, BDA. We said that shit before.
The thing is, he can't fight the way he fought Tio, man. He has to fight Haney the way he fought Lomachenko. That's the Ortiz, and just have his condition on point.
Yeah.
You know, and that because he gassed out with that Lomachenko.
Jermaine Ortiz just didn't want to lose to Tio. You know, he came to survive. That's the reality of it.
Exactly.
But man, shout out to Ryan, man. This kid, and I'm gonna tell you what, man. Big shout out to Derek James, bro. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, Frank, BDA, the other brothers.
Yeah, in the 12th and in the 11th round, going to the
12th round, bro. Ryan is like almost like celebrating. He's like, no, stop it, don't let up on him, bro.
He told his brother to shut the fuck up, and he told Henry to shut the fuck up.
Frank,
no,
he needs that in his life, bro. Like Derek James told him, nah, chill, and they was trying to like give him water right away. He's like, no, stop.
You know what's another thing that's an added factor that's good for this young man's life is that he now has a family with his promotional team, bro. They're not, all that other shit. They're him at odds with Oscar, him at odds with Bernard.
Yeah, they cool now.
Now it's a family unit. Now you got a crew that's all in for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's a problem that Teal got. Teal got nobody.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? His own promotional company shits on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have a unit, but over there with Oscar, he's got Oscar, he's got Bernard. Now he's got his father, Jerry James. It's us now, motherfucker.
I told Oscar on Twitter. I said, man, please just buy out Teofimo's contract from Top Rank, please, man. Just do it, man. You got the money. Just go to Bob and buy him out, because I think he'll do a lot better on Golden Boy. But here's the thing, man. Like, Frank, I know you happy as hell, bro, that Ryan won, because Frank always giving these guys these different names. And Hanky, yeah. It just goes to show you, man, Ryan, and you know what? I think there's a lot of potential more for Ryan, man. He has this God-given talent, his speed, his left hook. It's just the way he throws it out to a jab and then just turns on it, bro. Oh my God, bro. It's just, I mean, the kid could be a lot better.
A lot better, bro, because he made a whole bunch of fucking goofy ass mistakes.
There was a lot of mistakes Ryan was making, and it was obvious. He was taking breaks, he was taking rounds off.
His condition,
but you know what? This guy Haney, he could never capitalize on him.
Yeah, this is like a modern day Mayorga, bro, in a way, bro. Like Devin Haney reminds me of, Ryan reminds me of like a modern Mayorga, bro. Like my man was smoking, drinking, and all that in preparation for this fight, like smashing a whole bunch of OnlyFans models. Like he ain't give a damn, bro. And he knocked down this so-called pound for pound guy, man.
But that will catch up to him. So if he really takes his craft seriously and sticks with Derek James and really puts on that Kobe mentality of wanting to be his very, very absolute best, he could be a real problem.
He could be like a modern day Oscar, bro. Like,
let me ask the panel. I got HLD. Salute. Thank you, everybody, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. BDA, a real one. HLD, never sobers. Thank you, Max. We got Boxing Chief. Let me ask you guys this, man. Why no love for Oscar, man? He picked this kid. Oscar put his reputation on the line for this kid. Put it in New York. And I was thinking, everybody said it should be in Vegas, but that's Devin Haney's hometown. Was this 4D chess by Oscar? So, panel, go ahead, man. Cook.
I really think it was a circumstance because of what was going on. We have Canelo coming up. All those other stadiums in California are we got NBA playoffs going on. So it just happens to be there was nothing else left. And there's and think about it with the promotional hat. Why did Eddie Hearn let go of this dog with fleas with no attachment to Oscar? He just lost his ass off with the Prograis fight. So maybe this right now is gonna it does a reset on the price value with Haney, and as much as he would have to invest in him to make fights now because he doesn't sell and he doesn't he's not that dude anymore. So I think there's many reasons why he didn't care about matching this fight, because look how much money he lost had he been co-promoter. You know, there's a lot of money he missed out on. So I think I know he knows what he's doing. But yes, Oscar, that's what I was saying. I'm glad that there's a family unit now, or there's cohesiveness within that unit, and you see that it's not that they're pushing themselves on Ryan. Ryan is actually embracing Oscar, embracing Bernard, and that's great. You know what I mean? Good for him. Good for him. Happy for them. I just hope he just does things, properly moving on forward. But can we say, man, with us Latinos, we operate local, man. Everybody, man, that's not what Latinos work, bro. We go crazy even with our family members, ready to kill them, and then next thing you're sharing a cup of coffee with them. That's just the way we are. We function under chaos, and it's just the way it is, bro. We chaotic. Maybe some will say we're toxic, but that's just the way it is, and many of our Latino family circles, and we're ready to kill each other one moment, and next thing you know, bro, we're splitting our sandwich, one half for you, one for me, and that's just the way it is, man.
So look, check it out, bro. I think Oscar De La Hoya deserves a lot of fucking credit, dude, because where they were at last year and where they're at now is it's a 180 difference. The worlds apart. This dude was getting like snuck away, getting wined and dined by Floyd. He was thinking the PBC had his back. He let them play him, and for Oscar De La Hoya to repair the relationship, to reel him back in, to get him to work together to the point where they actually played the Haneys and lured them into this fight, got the win. You know what I mean? And you could tell it was all like Jimmy brought this up, dude. When Ryan got in Haney's face at one of the face-offs, and he was telling him, "Where's your mom, bitch? Where's your mom, bitch?" And Haney got mad and he mushed him. They were walking off, and De La Hoya was telling him, "Good job. That's exactly what we want." So they're playing they played him like a fiddle the whole time, bro. So I'll give Oscar De La Hoya credit for that, bro, because they were at the brink of they were suing each other. You know what I mean? And now they reeled it in, and now it's a real father and son relationship like it should have always been. You know what I mean?
So Silver, here's the question: if this wouldn't have worked, do you think this relationship would be anywhere near better now? Do you think that this is based off the win that everything's getting better, or do you think they were really trying to improve the relationship?
It was better before the fight. It was already better. I don't think this makes it even more better, right? Because you're basking in the glory of this fight. But before this fight happened, Let me put it like this: anytime things didn't go right for De La Hoya, he fired his trainer. So if things weren't going to go out with Ryan, how much longer do you think he was going to keep him before he'd move on? So you think the relationship of father-son, I'm not buying a lot of that, because I don't think there's a lot genuine about De La Hoya. I don't discredit his career, and he was a great fighter, and I don't think he's a terrible person despite what he gets in the media. What I'm saying is, I'm not buying into, at the moment, that everything's been fixed just because Ryan won. I didn't say because he won. I said that their relationship was already on the road of reconciliation, and not everything gets totally, but with time it gets even better and strengthens. It starts somewhere. It starts somewhere. I don't know what world you live in, but I mean, I know that I may have an argument with someone, and it's someone that I care about, and we're gonna get back along there, and we're not perfect, but as time goes on, those wounds do heal, and then the positiveness of what you're doing for each other strengthens that bond and that relationship. So it starts somewhere. I'm not saying it's gonna be always perfect, but it's getting better starts somewhere. And I think they're on that path.
That was Steve. He's trying to get back on, but I just wanted to give some credit to Oscar, man. I mean, nobody believed in Ryan. I kind of thought maybe Oscar was offering up as Ryan as a sacrifice, like let's get rid of him. But
I'm back.
Yeah, I hear what Chief is saying. It's like if it didn't work, then it'd probably be over. But it worked. Go ahead, Chief. You just dropped in. Thank you for joining. What's your thoughts on the entire thing?
First, I was never been happier to be wrong. I did make the comment that Ryan had all the tools to get the job done. I just didn't know what he was going to be able to do mentally to get it done. And like many other people, BDA was saying some of the same stuff. Is can he get it done based off of, is he mentally right? Well, he was mentally right enough. And so we'll put it at that. I don't want to blow some of this out of proportion to the fact that he lost a lot of rounds in that fight. So it wasn't like even though he gave him a beating, it was still a close fight. It's one of the rare situations where you can find a close fight on the cards, rightfully so, while still giving a guy a beating because he just took so much time off. And I think it's because he wasn't in the best shape in the world. If had he been, had those 3 pounds not been on there, and he waited at 140 even, he would have stopped Devin Haney because I don't think he would have gotten tired. He would have needed those breaks to back off and shaking his arm. You saw when he's shaking his arms, sometimes his arms were starting to burn because he was getting tired. He would have been a little bit leaner. I think he would have stopped Haney. And we've at one point in time during the fight when I was with my friends, I was saying we have a novice versus an overhyped fighter because you can just see the inexperience in Ryan sometimes of not knowing when to pace himself, not spacing himself out very well. And it's all fixable stuff as long as he has a good trainer that he has a good relationship with and he listens to him and they keep working together. But that whole thing that when he keeps turning his back, this is all an experience of not knowing how to use certain defensive stances against world-class fighters.
You don't like the California roll, man?
Well, it's not a real roll. But,
the California roll.
Now let me set the record straight on one other thing. Devin Haney showed his lack of IQ by punching in the kidney instead of using his left hook. He obviously doesn't have a left hook because he was in perfect position when he's pushing his left, holding Ryan in place and punching him in the back. I'm like, dude, you're right there. Why don't you just flurry with your left hook to his body? Well, why is that not even in your brain? And better yet, why is your dad not telling you to do that in between rounds every time he does that? The sheer experience of lack of real solid IQ was obvious because I'll give you a name, Ivan Robinson, not a great fighter. He would have been doing that all day long instead of punching with a kidney. He would have been flurrying with that hook because he could have been flurrying from an angle he would not have been getting hit back with. And if Ivan Robinson can think like that, then why can't Devin Haney?
Those shots behind the back and everything, bro, on his spine, his kidneys, that was like pure frustration and out of answers, didn't know what to do.
And his dad didn't have any answers. So
he just lost to a flat-footed TikTok Mexican white boy.
Basically.
Hey Frank, I bet they're all gonna claim him now. I bet they're all gonna say he's the Raza now.
Hey, he's Raza, man. He's always been Raza, bro.
I know. I'm saying I bet they're all gonna
he's
say
meek.
now.
He's meek. Yeah. Hey, man, he's Miklo, man. I'm white on the outside, but I'm brown on the inside, man. You know, it's just the way it is, man. I mean, he's an American Mexican.
So what do y'all think about the crazy thing? Was he crazy? Was he just marketing, or was it a little bit of both? I hear people saying both.
Both, bro. It's absolutely both, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, bro. I know Latinos how we are, bro. We loquito, bro, and that's just the way it is. And he just knew how to push it to another level and took advantage of it. But it's a little bit of both. I look, like for an example, he was smoking. You know, he's over at the club smoking that blunt. Bro, he's not really smoking it. You know what I mean? You see, it's a puff in your mouth, but he ain't bringing that in, bro. You know, he ain't doing that.
Well, here's the other thing. Was it really a blunt?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? If it was for show, okay, let's go down that. Let's keep down that theory for a little bit. If it really was for show, was it really a blunt, or was he just trying to quote unquote smoke something to give the image that he was partying? And was that a real deal, or was that an old duel that had no alcohol?
You never know. Just like the apple cider sparkling water shit that he did with the beer.
He said it was apple cider. He said it was apple cider on the stage. Man, I salute Ryan for everything he did. He promoted the fight. I mean, it was promotions, right? He was just promoting the fight. When this fight was first announced, I thought this was an Oscar cash out, Devin Haney cherry pick, and Ryan Garcia cash out. Like, okay, I'm cashing out. I'm done with the game. Because if Ryan would have lost, it's over. He's retiring.
My sports bar was packed, and then, you know Joseph Frank, and he was at a Dave and Buster's in Houston.
Right.
I think he said that place was packed to the brim. Then there was another gentleman in the show. He was in Vegas, and he said the Dave and Buster's was packed over there too. So don't be surprised if this fucking fight ends up eclipsing his Tank fight.
Oh, that's massive.
You know, I mean, because where I was at, that shit was packed. Now I didn't even buy it. I didn't watch that Tank fight. You know what I mean? I didn't watch that fight that I paid for. No, I didn't.
Yeah, how does that factor in? When they're factoring pay-per-view buys, one bar doesn't count as 10 houses. So how do they factor
No,
in?
because when a bar or a spot buys a licensing,
right,
it counts for so many amount of people is what it is. So one buy, I'm just throwing this out for shits and giggles. Let's say a spot buys the fight for commercial use, and maybe it's I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000. And that'll be for maybe a number of like 400 or 500 people, for an example.
A potential number of people.
Right,
right. They max
right.
that number out no matter what.
Right, exactly.
The money's been paid regardless if the bar made their money.
Exactly. So
the
I think it
goes
goes
their money even if the bar doesn't.
I think it goes by the capacity of the bar. So if the bar has a 500 person,
right,
it's the capacity of the bar. And that's what they charge it at. So then they'll look up whatever the fire department says is the capacity of the place. And that's what they charge it as. So Dave and Buster's, bro. So from what I heard, in Houston it was packed, in Vegas it was packed. You guys saw the reaction, Jake Paul and his brother watching this.
I seen that. Yeah, that was hilarious.
They were shocked, and his girl was like, "But Ryan, bro, all the ladies were for Ryan, bro. Even his girl was like, but he did really well."
Dude, he must have lost millions. You think a guy like that, he bets millions. You don't bet hundreds. He bets millions. He lost the cool $2 million.
Easy, bro.
Well, I tell you what, though, they definitely. We thought that if Ryan would have beaten Tank, that we would have had a chance for a face of boxing to really take things off. The way Ryan sold this and the way he pulled this off, they still have to match him carefully because there's a lot of flaws. He's not giving Boots in this a tough fight. He might now if he can time, but Boots is way faster than Devin Haney. So trying to time that, plus moving up a few more pounds, is going to slow Ryan down a tad, just a hair. But that hair may be enough for Boots to beat the crap out of him.
I got all the 140 champions except for maybe Pitbull Cruz. I got Tio. I got Matias.
He's got the link. He's got the link to deal with Cruz, and he has the leverage. He has the leverage.
But Tio and Matias would beat Ryan Garcia. I don't have no doubt about that.
The only reason why I don't agree with Tio is he's too hot and cold. And on Tio, a motivated like a Josh Taylor Tio. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you for a second, but. Is Tio going to show up like he did with Kambosos? Well, not anymore now that he's beating Haney.
You guys, because I know so much about Tio. You guys have no idea what that young man had to go through for that night. So I know what's up, and that's why
I've seen bad performances from him before and since.
Okay, so, well, you're talking about runners, so I don't think Ryan Garcia is a runner like a Sando or Jay Marine or Ortiz.
I'm not talking runners. I'm talking his performances.
His performance is what it is. You guys are fighting to survive. They're not. What performance do you expect? Look at Canelo. What could Canelo do to Charlo from after he knocked him down from round 3 to 12? It was dude was surviving. It was a shit show.
Yeah, but that wasn't a bad performance.
From 3 to 12, there was nothing to do. It was a shit show.
But it was not a bad performance.
What did he do to Charlo? Just chase him?
Okay, I don't know where you're going with this because none of what you're saying is making sense. There's a difference between being a hot and cold and inconsistent performer and what Canelo did that night. That was not a cold performance by Canelo.
So he cut the ring off, but nothing happened in those rounds.
What does that have to do with the fact it was a good performance? He beat the guy.
That's not a cold performance, bro. The guy's running, and that's about it. You're not going to get anything of the result is
First of
still
all,
the
Canelo's
same.
got nothing to do with this. Second of all, it wasn't a bad performance. So I don't know where you're trying to draw the line.
My point is that if the guy's running, what performance do you expect?
Well, to cut the ring off and do something about it, but it didn't even matter. What I've seen from the inconsistency I've seen from Tio versus the Canelo fight with Charlo, which was not an inconsistent performance. That's one of the reasons why this conversation is not holding any water. You're bringing in a fight that has nothing to do with what I'm saying about a different.
What was his consistency versus Bivol?
What's that?
What was the consistency versus Bivol?
He got beat.
Exactly. So it's
and now you're bringing up Canelo again, which has nothing to do with Tio.
It is what it is.
It has nothing to do with Tio, so I still don't know where you're going with this.
I say that those guys that want to run for their lives, there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, I think you guys agree.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys agree.
I think, you know, hey, Frank, you always say it around it. You know, it's like maybe the way I say things doesn't.
Yeah, I think you guys are agreeing. I'm like, okay.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
So, was the
Go
Japanese guy that Tio fought that Loma beat up real bad?
Oh, the guy that Tio put in the hospital and retired him for a year and a half?
Nakatani?
No.
Yeah.
How you retired for a year and a half?
He was retired for a year and Tio sent that guy to the hospital, brain swelling for almost 2 months and broken over the bone.
Which fight? All right, so he won the title. What was the fight just before he won the title? Was that Nakatani?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it was it was a war. That's what it was.
Well, y'all talking about a Ryan versus Lopez matchup? I would favor of Garcia against Teofimo.
I think after this, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, because Teofimo's all reflexes, bro. And if Devin Haney has this amazing jab, Teofimo has less than that. Like, you know what I mean? He has the shit jab.
I never thought that young man has anything that you're saying.
Good point.
Haney was never that dude. He was a product of perfect matchmaking. Period.
I agreed with that, but Sober's comment is very on point. Tio is reactionary based off of reflexes. He doesn't set things up,
just like Ryan did.
And so, but then Ryan's the same way.
Right, but one guy is
interesting match. One guy is an interesting match of not a lot of action at times. Because they're both going to be posing.
One guy is a much better boxer with IQ than the other. That is a fact.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because Ryan's is limited.
At 147 because Ryan said he's going to 147.
Yeah,
so I don't know what Tio's gonna do. He's not gonna chase Ryan to 147. I mean, I think that would be a fantastic, explosive fight. I think it would be a battle of hooks. It would just be a tentative, explosive fight.
We got to see what happens once Crawford drops these belts, because that's what had Haney won.
Good point.
Had Haney won, I see him going up to 147 to fight Barrios. As you saw, they've been talking about already going up to 147. That's not just talking. No, they really were thinking about going to 147. And once Crawford dropped the belts, that would have been Barrios against Haney for the WBC belt. And then Tio would have to fight Santillán. Well, you know, as long as Santillán beats Norman Jr. in his next fight, it'll be then Tio versus Santillán for the WBO vacant belt. So that's the path that I see that. So right now it could be Ryan Garcia going through the WBC, or I don't know which route. He would have to go through the WBC because he just beat Haney, and he would be ranked at 147 with the WBC. So don't be surprised, Ryan Garcia Barrios for the vacant WBC belt. That's a good fight.
It's a winnable fight for Ryan, definitely.
Not for both of them. I mean, you know, I'm not saying Barrios is nothing over special, but you know, he has worked. He's worked better. He has worked. He's gotten better. You know,
I've seen him live. He's not special.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I mean, if everybody forgets what, you know, he arguably lost the fight right before the Tank fight. I remember that fight. I thought he lost, and they gave it to him. We forgot that, you know, Thurman looked like a Klingon after the fight. Everybody forgets that he fought Thurman and that Thurman busted him up. Everybody talks more of what he did to Thurman, and Thurman busted that kid up. So
most people I talk to are very well aware that he lost to Thurman. So it's the fact that he beat. I'm sorry, I hate mentioning this guy's name. The fact that he beat old man Ugas really didn't prove a lot, because I mean, Ugas.
What you got against Ugas?
He's just not. He's nothing special. That's all. I mean, he's tough. But
yeah, but he's not. He's never been a hype man. He's not a Devin Haney. I mean, I'm trying to understand what is that you don't like about him besides his style that you don't even want to mention his name.
I think he's highly overrated. I think he's only there because Al Heyman puts him in places where he can use him later against Spence.
I don't know. I thought he beat Porter.
He made Porter look bad. That's as far as I got it. Now, because when Porter actually let his hands go and fought like Sean Porter, and then try and box and move, and that's an ill-prepared Sean Porter. He had to shave his head to make weight. When has Porter ever been off weight except for that night? Never. So that was not a very well prepared Sean Porter.
And a 33-year-old Ugas is definitely better than Barrios. He fought an old guy who came off having his face broken by Spence at 38 years old. I think he was when he fought Barrios. So I mean, it's he's washed. I mean, as of today, yeah, I can understand that. But a younger Ugas, he was a good fighter. Not a great fighter. He was a good fighter.
He's solid. He was a contender. That's the best thing give him. He was handed a title outside the ring, but aside from that, he was a good fighter. But that's as far as I'll go with him. He wasn't.
Well, they handed him the belt outside the ring, but then he actually beat the guy who he got handed it by, which was Pacquiao. So I mean,
yeah,
you know
42-year-old been off for 2 years, and that was a very competitive fight.
Yeah, it was. But I'm still don't understand the hate.
Not the hate. I think he's overrated.
I mean, the fight I want to see is Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia, but I really cannot. Usually I can be pretty good on predicting, but I really have no idea who Ryan Garcia could face. I think it'll be a Tank rematch. I think the next fight will be Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Just following the money.
Tank ain't coming up to 145.
I think for the money, for how much that fight will be worth, I think it'll break records. A rematch, because I was thinking earlier as we were talking, all the 4 kings that lost. That's why I thought it was best for boxing. Ryan, Haney, Teo. The only one who hasn't lost is Tank Davis. So the ultimate fight I want to see is a rematch between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. But if we can't get that, I want Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, because I don't know how effective. Go ahead.
No, you're finishing up. Go ahead. It's your show.
No, that was it. No, it's your show, dude. Thank you guys for being here.
Well,
go ahead.
Thank you for having me, by the way. So I didn't get to say that yet.
Of course.
Tank's not taking that fight unless Al's ready to possibly put him in a situation where he can possibly lose, because he's not going to get a rehydration clause this time. He's not going to get to call as many shots. Even though he's got a win over him, Ryan doesn't need him as much now as he still needs Ryan, because Tank's next fight is going to show the fact he still can't sell without a solid dance partner. And if these numbers are way someone on the panel just said tonight are probably going to be as good as the fight with Tank, which I'm not positive it's going to be that way, but it's still going to sell high 6 figures. I guarantee it's going to cross 300,000 easily into the 4s, which is nobody in PBC can do that without a major dance partner. None of them have broken 400,000 on their own.
I guarantee you that this fight last night will outsell the Frank Martin fight with Tank Davis.
Oh yeah, that's my point. Yeah, we're on the same page there completely.
Yeah.
So the point with that I'm piggybacking off of that is once that comes up. So if the challenge comes back out and Ryan's like, that's the fight I want next, and he starts calling them out left and right, and then De La Hoya is also sending financial offers, and Frank, that's one of my big things of a call out. You can call it all you want to, but you send contracts to go along with it. To we're making financial offers. The only way Al will actually put his only quote unquote moneymaker out there who's still undefeated and try and sell that off for a loss like he did with Spence and he did with just about everybody else is if the money's going to be just right, because Tank's 29. He ain't getting any better. He's already past his peak. He's not past his prime, but he's past his peak. The best he ever was about 2 years ago. And even then, he's had the same flaws he had since I first started calling on the BDA back in 2020. He still squares his feet up. He still squares his shoulders up. And when he's throwing combinations, he still throws them from his shoulders and his chest. The only time he puts his hands up is he's learned to use a high guard on the outside. But once he gets in close, he starts dropping those hands to try and throw those big power punches. And then he usually pulls, now that his reflexes aren't quite what they used to be, he pulls straight back versus using any kind of relative head movement. So these have been the flaws he's had since 2020. He just fought guys that can't capitalize on it. This time, if he moves up and fights Ryan at Ryan's demands, then I don't see him winning, number one. And number two, I don't see Al giving that much leverage to anyone, especially with Tank already having a win over Ryan once before. So since Ryan doesn't have to give in to any of Tank's demands this time, he did last time to make the fight. He didn't have to give in to any this time. None. He got a rematch with Haney. He can fight Teofimo. He can move up to 147 and fight Barrios, like you said. He's got a lot of options where he can make some money and benefit his career.
And that Conor Benn is a big enough fight that could sell pretty good.
Especially if he goes over to England to do it, yeah. Or if the Saudis want to do it over there. Well, wherever it's going to be, it's going to make a lot of money. And Ryan's put himself in a position to start to make a lot more money. Tank's going to need him. He won't need Tank.
What about this caveat at the start?
I didn't hear what.
I'm just throwing this out there. A caveat, kind of. I could see Ryan Garcia announcing a fake retirement.
What?
Fake retirement?
Yeah, I could see him announcing a fake retirement. Because I mean, who's he gonna fight right now? I mean, I would want maybe he makes Shakur and Tank fight and have those guys fight each other, and then next year, maybe around this time, he starts putting it out that he's gonna return. But
I think his biggest
I don't know what Ryan does at this point.
I think his biggest problem by not winning a title, to where he could probably get 2 defenses off of no hopers they could still get paid off of to keep him sharp. Then he's still in a position to get big fights. But to be able to, like what Riddick Bowe did with Jesse Ferguson and Michael Dokes, those were gimmies. Everybody knew that he was going to win those fights. They were cash grabs. Let me get myself out there so the public can see me, and let me make some money along the way. And it keeps me sharp because then I'm in the gym. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym and I'm fighting in the public. So I'm not just sitting on my butt for a year and a half. Ryan, if he had a belt, could have fought a number 4, number 5 contender in concession, 2 fights in a row, and kept himself sharp while still making money in the process while other things play out. By not having a belt, he has to kind of make better decisions than just fighting other contenders who don't have, by not having a belt, fighting those contenders means nothing. By having a belt, it validates the fact, well, I've got to fight these guys that are ranked. You see what I'm saying? So by not having a belt, that puts it in a different perspective. The opponent he fights next has to benefit his career more than, some number 8 or number 9 contender that he could do if he had a belt. That's one thing I think they messed up on, is by not coming in right to have that belt, so where his next 2 fights could be soft touches to get better experience and work with Derek James and perfect some things they want to work on. His next fight after this has to be something more relevant, because you can't get a non-title fight against the number 8 contender for the WBC when you don't have a belt and expect anyone to buy into it thinking it's a good move.
What you mean he can't get a fight with a number 8 contender?
No, he can do it, right? It's not the fact he can't make it happen. What I'm saying is, if he would have won the belt, he can always say, well, I couldn't get anything else going, so I took on a contender for, my belt. This guy's ranked in the top 10. All right, well, if you're fighting a guy that's ranked anywhere in the top 10 outside of number 1 for the WBC belt, of a belt you don't have, and let's face it, when we go down the contenders on a lot of these sanctioning bodies, we look through and we're boxing heads. We might know who they are, but the casuals that want to see Ryan fight are going to go, well, who's this guy? Well, who's this guy? Who's this guy? It makes more sense to fight a who's this guy when you have a belt and that guy's ranked for your sanctioning body. Your sanctioning body, than when you're taking on that guy for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to choose a name wisely. That's why I mentioned Conor Benn. I could see another good fight I think that could happen is Stanionis. That would be another hell of a fight.
It'd be a great fight, and it would be a good career move. It would not be a soft touch.
No, it's not a soft touch.
Here's my point, though. In order to perfect some stuff with Derek James, if he had a belt, he could take on soft touches that were ranked for that belt. That's where I'm getting at this. It's like, if he would have won the belt, he could have taken on some soft touches that could have done a lot of different things. It would have kept him busy, kept him in the gym, kept him sharp, made some money, and he can do these things to stay busy while other things, like we're saying, maybe Shakur fights so-and-so or so-and-so.
Maybe he's not as greedy with that money, because he did fight Duarte on not pay-per-view. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So maybe that kid, maybe
he gets paid. If he's
right,
if he may not be making the major money, but he's getting paid.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe he could still find some soft touches, and regardless with the belt or no belt, he'll do it. I mean, because he did it with Duarte. You know what I mean? So he could fight anybody. Right. And so he made a ton of money with the Tank fight, and he didn't make no money really on that Duarte fight. So I mean,
it made 7 figures though.
So I don't. I mean, I know you're trying to put on the promoter hat on in itself, but if Ryan Garcia is cool with, hey man, we need to take on some soft touches, and I don't think he's that egotistical about it. You know. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But man, I think I've gone on probably like almost 18 hours on this shit, bro. Since last night, I've slept maybe 3 hours or so, man.
Yeah, I didn't sleep a lot either.
Cooking everybody, man, making fun of everybody, laughing my ass off, bro.
We're taking calls on BDA till 3 a.m.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of haters, bro. That alphabet group, they mad as hell, bro. They mad as hell. They don't like it.
Yeah, no, it was just exciting as hell. I'm like you guys, like I slept a little bit. I was watching videos, reactions, and just drinking the tears. It was, but this was exciting, and the fight was a great fight. It was a great fight. The fight in itself, that the first round he gets wobbled. It was like, oh shit! Like I jumped out of my seat, and then it kind of slowed down, right? And it was Haney, and I thought, oh man, it's over, right?
That's what I was saying, Frank, bro. I had my scorecard. I got 1 for Ryan, right? And then after that, it was Haney, all the way to the 6th. I'm like, what the fuck is this kid doing? He was giving up all these rounds. And then that 7th round came in, bro, and it was like another jolt of adrenaline and shit. It was crazy, bro.
I think he needed a second wind. And I think he was also waiting for Haney to come at him to where he
trapped him, bro. He trapped him, bro.
He waited for him to get brave enough to come forward to where he could. Ryan doesn't seem to want to put an offense together. And what I mean by that is like he's not going to use that jab and walk you down. He's done it before, but he doesn't seem like he likes to do that now. He'd rather counterpunch you and let you come to him.
He gets bored, I think, bro. He's got some boredness problems in his head, bro. He doesn't want to do the extra stuff. He's like, man, I'll wait for this motherfucker to get stupid open and I'll crack him.
And that's exactly what he did. He let him get brave of starting to come forward and use that jab more and everything else, and he stayed on the back foot to make Haney have to come to him. Someone called into BDA the other night. He's like, yeah, when have you ever seen Haney fight like that and go after people? I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't study him that much, but I know that one of the reasons why he did is because Ryan made him do it. Ryan kept coming back to make Haney have to come forward. And by doing that, even though Haney, I thought I saw last night that Ryan had the reach, and I think I just misread it. But the point is, he had a good enough reach, even if that Haney had the longer reach.
He had Haney had a 1-inch reach advantage.
Okay, so that's what I saw in BoxRec too. Here's the thing, though: when you're making a guy come forward and you're timing him, that 1 inch doesn't always mean anything if you know how to time, which Ryan does. And I've said this on BDA a few times. There's an old saying of power thrills, speed kills, but then I've added, but timing rules them all. If you can out-time a guy, if you can get his timing down, it doesn't matter how fast he is. Because if you can see his tells and know when he's going to flinch, move, twitch, whatever the tell is of what he's about to do, and you can react to that before he does, then you're going to throw his game completely off. And if you can punch like Ryan, you can do a lot of damage when you make that move. And that's what he did last night against the guy who really couldn't take a punch.
I mean, I think what it came down to, you have a guy who's not who everybody thought he was, or claiming him to be as, and then you got Ryan who was very underrated because everybody thought he's a trash fighter like a Rolly, and he's not nowhere near as bad as Rolly. He's more of the middle of the road better type of fighter, but he's got this speed and God-given power that it overpasses everything else.
You know when I knew he had a shot is it was just a small. I think I saw it on YouTube, but it was one of his Instagram things made on YouTube, and this girl was holding the punch mitt for him, and he threw that hook so fast you never saw it coming. You barely saw the hook get thrown. And Given was a young teenage. Well, I don't know about teenage. A young lady holding the pad, and she wasn't ready for it, and he hit it, and it knocked her shoulder back. But he hit it so quick, the camera barely caught it. And I'm like, that is so. Speed and quickness are synonyms in the dictionary. They may mean the same thing. To me, speed is, how fast can I throw a 6-punch combination? But quickness is how quick can my punch get to you before you can get off. Maybe 1 punch, maybe 2. It's not 6-punch combinations when I talk about quickness. It's lightning quick moves, single, powerful check hooks, things like that.
We seen that with the Fortuna fight. It took me a month before I knew that he knocked him out with the fucking left hook. I thought it was the right hand, and then somebody put it on slow mo. Like, what the fuck? I didn't, I mean, we got these cameras that are so many frames per second now, and I couldn't. They had to slow that fucker down. And I'm like, motherfucker, he clipped him with the left hook.
But that's when I knew it's like, okay, he's got the tools to pull this off. I fell for the trolling. I fell for that his mind wasn't right and everything else. And then after the Tank fight, when he made some of those comments like, yeah, well, I could have gotten up, but I don't know. I don't remember everything he said, but it sounded like he just really didn't want any more in that fight. And maybe it was more just the fact that he was starving and he just didn't have it in him to do too much more because he was drained. Point being, a lot of people were questioning his heart. Now, Frank may have heard me say this, but I did say this in more than one place, that I kind of thought that this was a perfect situation of history repeating itself of Victor Ortiz, that he lost to Maidana and he quit because, in his words, were, I don't deserve to be taking this much punishment. So when he stepped up against the guy that was supposed to take the welterweight division over, and Andre Berto, this was supposed to be an easy win for Berto, and Ortiz stepped up and took it to him, and we know what happened. He ended up winning the fight, and it was a very exciting fight. I said that the table was set for the same thing to happen again, because Ryan, like Ortiz, had tools to be able to pull off an upset. The question is his mind right to do it? And in these two situations, it turned out that way. What I'm hoping doesn't happen moving forward is what happened in Ortiz's next fight. He crapped the bed with Floyd, and he never really recovered. I'm hoping Ryan doesn't do the same thing. People are going to say, oh, no, he won't do that. Well, we won't know until it happens. But I'm hoping the same thing doesn't happen. I hope he actually takes this better than Ortiz did and works with it and moves forward with it. The reason why I don't think he will is because De La Hoya was promoting Ortiz, and he's seen this happen. He can see the fact, hey, Ryan, you just had your Ortiz moment. Now let's capitalize on this, not screw it up.
Well, we shall see. But yo, Frank, man, I want to thank you for having me on, Papa. I appreciate it. And I was like, man, when is Frank gonna come on? I've been answering all these other when I get on these other, I don't want to call them enemy, but across the street channels, bro. I've been answering with a laugh, bro, just laughing my ass off, making sure at first I annoy everybody, bro, and then but it's been fun, bro. Hey, thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it. I'll catch you up on the next one. All right.
For sure. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it, man. It
Peace out, guys.
Thank you.
Who was that?
Yeah, that was HLD. He's been on my show before. He goes on. He's a boxing fan. I've talked to him other places. But damn, yeah. I mean, what a everybody's logging off is just me and Chief. Yeah, shit, man. I hear what you're saying about Ryan, though. I mean, can he capitalize on it? That's the question. Is because the reason people didn't give him a chance is the improvement, like you've been saying, his technical fighting style. It's like, is he going to be dedicated enough to can he be on the pound for pound? Can he beat Teofimo? Can he beat Isaac Cruz? Can he beat Matias? I mean, where does he go
from here? He can beat Isaac Cruz. Matias, I need to watch more of him. I haven't seen enough of him, and his last fight that he won, and even though it was by knockout, it seemed like he was trapped in a shell early from someone just like throwing too many punches, and he did that accordion thing like Corte used to do. And I just keep thinking, you get a guy as tall as Devin and Ryan, we know that Devin's chin won't hold up, but that kind of length and size, if they just throw shoe shines all night and keep using angles, is that going to throw Matias off enough to where he gets trapped in a shell and starts to wait his turn? And because I don't know enough about Matias, that's why I asked this question. A lot of people tell me, well, that won't happen, but a lot of the same people told me that thought that Prograis was still an elite junior welterweight when I told them they were wrong. So, and I turned out to be correct. So I'm not writing Matias off. I think his resume is impressive of wins to knockout ratio. He is a tough guy. He's very strong. He's got that Puerto Rican pride to go along with him, so he's not going to be a slouch. But I don't know enough about him to know what flaws people can capitalize on. And that's my take on him. Ryan, I'm sorry, whatever. Ryan's just a hot and cold fighter. Not Ryan. I'm sorry, Tio. He's just a hot and cold fighter. He just is.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, that's not that is. Yeah. That's fair to say. That's fair to say that T.O. We've seen him look less than spectacular when he fights the elite level. He elevates his game. But Ryan Garcia, I mean, he's the man to beat, right? That size and that speed is next level. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
He's too big for 130, and we know that. But from 130 to 140, he's the guy to beat right now, regardless of what Tio thinks, regardless of what Tank thinks. Because now that he's just got another high-profile win, not another, but he's got a high-profile win. So he's had 2 high-profile fights, and he didn't do bad against Tank when he fought within himself. It's when he overextended himself and rushed himself that he left himself open for shots. And when my late friend was still alive, said, what Tank's going to do, before he passed away, he said, what Tank's going to do is he's going to take him out to a certain amount of time in the fight, and he's going to drown him because Ryan's not ready yet. And it turns out that that's kind of what happened. Ryan had so much nervous energy, he didn't know how to focus at all. And Tank just let Ryan give him the openings on his own. He let Ryan overextend himself. He let Ryan leave these openings, and he just counterpunched him. And Tank can't punch. If we can't say anything, we can say Tank may be overrated for this, that, or this. There's a lot of things we can say about him. But he can punch is one thing that we can undoubtedly say is true. Now, Isaac Cruz took the punch pretty well. He's a pretty tough guy. He did have a hurt hand in that fight, even though I'm not making the excuse that that's why he should have lost. I think that fight was too competitive for him anyway. I do believe he hurt his hand in the process. I think that fight would have been competitive to the final bell, regardless of that hand. You see what I'm saying? So I know he injured himself. But that fight was going to be that tough on him with 2 hands, not just one. It was going to be that tough on him no matter what. But Tank short. He didn't have a long reach. Guys can get inside on him. Sometimes that's what he wants. You get a guy like Ryan, who's got a lot of speed, a good counterpuncher. We don't know how good of a punch Isaac Cruz is going to take from a real puncher at 140. Because Tank's not a 140-pound fighter. So
I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna wrap it up. I got like 5 more minutes.
Gotcha.
Really appreciate. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you dropping by.
Thank you for having me.
Salute. Yeah, man. Anytime, you're welcome. I know you're like on a different time zone, and sometimes I go late at night. But Sundays for sure, man. If you ever get the chance, I really appreciate you dropping by and talking. We're never gonna agree on Crawford, but it's all good. You took a shot earlier.
You do make some solid points. I just don't necessarily.
It's cool, man. It's cool, man.
But it's right. Cool. I'm with you on this. He needs to crap or get off the pot. And
we'll see. I think he'll step it up. I think he'll step it up. And there's some talks that the Saudis are going to pay for a big money fight for him. So I'm here for it, man.
He's at the age where he wants to get paid for the work that he's put in. Yeah. Whether we think it was great or not, it was overrated or not, in his eyes, because he's 40-something and 0, and he's 38 years old, and he's won titles in multiple weight classes, he believes he needs to get paid now. And let's face it, and I'll wrap this up because I know you're trying to close up the show. But he held out and got the money he wanted versus Spence. So now in his mind, if he keeps holding out, he'll eventually get what he wants. And we don't have to
come back for Munguia Canelo. We're going to be doing that. So thank you. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. We've had a fantastic show. Thank you for coming through, talking your shit. I'm gonna salute everybody. Tu Matador, Quentin Lassiter, Don Ramon Champ. Sorry, guys. I would love to stay longer. Gotta wrap it up. I've been drinking some beer. Hopefully, you got your beers. Hopefully, everybody's excited. We got up with Chuco, Abel, Earl Stevens. Damn, man, everybody came through. J-Rock, Sargent, please, you guys got to hit the like, comment, subscribe, share. Y'all gotta do that for the homie. Never Sobers, HLD, Max was in here. Man, it was a great show, a great win. Impala, Ryan Garcia showed up and showed out. Devin Haney, can he come back? Ryan Garcia, is he the new face of boxing? Damn, man. There's a lot to cook, a lot to talk about. Shit, we might not see these guys. You know, who knows when Ryan will come back, but he's arguably a face of boxing. Solo Dolo, El Pachuco. We had some new people. Damn, it was good, man. Like I said, that's why I said, man, a Ryan Garcia win was the best for boxing, right? Tio has a loss, Ryan has a loss, Haney has a loss. The only guy who doesn't is Stank Davis, and who knows? He has a tough fight coming up. Maybe he loses. And the only reason I said that is because then we can finally get all the fights. These guys all need to fight each other. They might all end up having 2 or 3 losses. But it's great for boxing because we get to see the fights. Can Ryan beat Teofimo? Can Teofimo beat Haney? Maybe we get that fight now. And that's all I'm saying, man. I'll be back to cook later this week, kind of see what happens, the aftermath. I thank everybody for joining. It was super. I hope you guys love the fight. Ryan is on top. He's on top of the world. Ryan, you know, fuck you Mexicans for Haney. Fuck that bitch shit. Guts and glory. But yeah, man, thank you. We're gonna wrap it up. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Tell your friends. I'm gonna leave you just with a couple things. Salute Oscar De La Hoya. Put it all together. And fuck this guy. Thank everybody. And we out.
If Ryan Garcia somehow pulls off the upset, oh my gosh. I might as well just put commentary and leave the game alone, man. I'm not gonna lie, because I just don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. If Ryan Garcia somehow pulls off the upset, oh my gosh. I might.
Outback. Outback. I have ADHD, so I just start doing random things.
You want to hear one of my songs? NGQ, doing what I do. All white, looking nice. Okay, come through. I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking the fight serious or not.
Outback. Crazy. You are so soft. I can see it. Your breath is just. I can hear you. You're not like that, bro. You're not like that. You're not like that. The fear is getting you. 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 You're not like that.
Devin Haney doesn't have the power, but he does have the accuracy and timing. If you're that aggressive, get overconfident.
Big left hand by Garcia. Rocks Haney early. Garcia said he was going to knock him out in the first round. Eric Marlensky, 114-110. Robin Taylor, 115-109. Your winner by majority decision. King Ryan Garcia!
You know what I love? Oh my god. Sorry. I just love a good roast beef sandwich. You know what I love? Oh my god. Sorry. I just love a good roast beef sandwich. You know.
This is my last fight on ESPN. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. This is why this fight means everything to me. If they want the black fighters, they could keep them. I brought Bud Light to top rank. If they want the black fighters, they could keep them. Everything to me. If they want the black fighters, they could keep them. I brought Bud Light to top rank. If they want the black fighters, they could keep them. Everything to me. If they
It's not worth the $35 million. Why would my friend go and lose money to put money in his pocket? He's from Mexico.
No,
we're
cool,
American.
Cool, but let's stick to the.
What are you talking about? You know?
What you make of his comments, the Mexican thing? I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, like, well, I'm a flat-footed Mexican fighter. Look, if you're calling me a Mexican fighter, I find that as a compliment, you know? What are you talking about, you know?
What you make of his comments, the Mexican thing? I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, like, well, I'm a flat-footed Mexican fighter. Look, if you're calling me a Mexican fighter, I find that as a compliment, you know?